Hey, we're live.
Woohoo!
We're doing it, and James is here. Thanks, James.
Love James.
James always here, always killing it. Love
You
that.
know, he's like an old friend from even though I don't know James, it's like
Right?
he's like a guy I knew in high school or something. The way he shows
Yeah.
up. Yeah,
Yeah. We appreciate
yeah.
that, James. Thank you for that. Well, welcome to the impromptu stream that, Mary and I were talking, and I was like, look, I really need to get better at talking about things I've read recently, not smacking my microphone,
Yep.
things like just all the things.
Yeah.
And the last episode we did, Mary, I'm calling it an episode now. It's not.
Oh, an episode. This is
It's an
episode
episode
2.
now. Yeah, this is season 2. We'll get to another season soon. Anyway, people love you. That's the
Aw,
point.
you're too
People
kind.
just
Come on.
raving and ranting and like, when's Mary coming back? So Mary's back, and
I'm
Chris is
back.
here. Thanks for
Chris.
being here, Chris. Love
Um,
that.
well, you know what it is? I'll take the compliment because why not? But it's because I think people enjoyed us yammering on about books. That's the bottom line. That's why everybody
Sure.
shows up. You know what I mean? So I think a lot of people can relate to all of our habits, we'll call them. That's a nicer word than something I was going to pick. So
And I think this will be a great show to showcase that, especially for me. I don't know what's
yeah.
happening with you. We haven't shared what we're going to talk about. Well, we know the vagueness of
Well,
what we're talking about.
last night we were like talking like, well, I'm not telling you what book I'm referring to because we'll save it for tomorrow. So
Yeah, we were
stupid,
like
right?
content. It's just so funny.
Don't
I've
want
done
to
that
run
with
out of
Jess
things.
too.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
know, right?
Like I'll text Jess and I'll be like, "Oh, blah blah blah, this happened," and he's like, "Well, tell me about it." I was like, "We'll save it for the show, content," or he'll say the same, which is so funny.
Yep, yep.
But yeah, so we're gonna talk about it's Saturday reads. There is a thing called Friday reads, and we're like, no, 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 we're doing this on Saturday.
Ours is
So
Saturday.
yeah, it's Saturday reads. We're gonna talk about. Oh no, we lost her. What happened, Mary? All right. Well, I'll tell you guys. We're gonna talk about once Mary comes back, what we've read recently, what we're currently reading, and what we plan to read this weekend and beyond. If Mary ever comes back, there she is.
Sorry,
There's Mary.
I hope I'm welcome back again. I don't know what
There
happened.
you.
I think my Wi-Fi went berserk on me.
It happens to the best of us. I was just telling everyone we're going to talk about what we've read recently,
Yes.
however long back we want to go, we can, what we're currently reading, and what we intend to read this weekend and beyond this weekend.
Yes.
Is it going to happen? Hmm.
We
I
always
don't
have
know.
we have good intentions, right?
We really do. But we're not, look, I won't speak for you. I'm not the best at keeping my intended reads, reading them. It's not the best.
Same, same.
Hey, Hayden. Thanks for being
Hayden.
here. Oh, the Part Works comics reader. Hey, guys. Great day at Thought Bubble. Oh, met some favorite creators, picked up some signatures, spent far too much. Tell me what you bought. Tell me who you met.
Absolutely.
I want to know
Yeah.
everything. Thought Bubble is one of those cons that always looks so cool and has like the coolest people. So
So tell me, I don't know where that takes place. Where is Thought Bubble?
I believe it's in the UK. Is that
Oh,
right?
really? Okay.
Artworks? Yeah, because I
Nice.
feel like all the UK creators I like are always there.
Okay.
So tell me who you met. Tell me
Yeah,
everything. We want to
and
know
yet
it all.
absolutely. And you have to spend too much. If you're going to
Uh,
something like that, you
yeah,
just plan on it, right?
yeah,
That
that's part
that
of it.
yeah, it's what credit cards are for.
Exactly. Which, speaking of, I'm just staring at your background again. It's so good.
Oh,
Y'all, look at how cool Mary's background is.
this was so intentional. I am jammed in a little spot right now. I have my laptop on the bed. I stole a desk chair from one of our desks, and then I'm in the bedroom, locked in the bedroom because I told my wife Kim, I'm like, don't make any noise. If you see the door closed, it means I'm live with Kristen. So I'm like very intentionally placed right now. I have
I love it.
my little Pac-Man. I can't get it right. My Pac-Man
It's
machine.
so hard. Yeah.
I have Galaga and a couple other little things. So it's like
So cool.
me. These little countertops are like me reliving my youth. You
It's
know,
awesome. Do you like play them on the regular?
I kind of do. It's
Yeah,
like
love that.
it's so relaxing to me. Like I have some like plugins I can use on the TV, but it's just more fun. Like I feel like I'm a little kid again with like my roll of quarters. Um,
Absolutely.
I'm actually surprised that, and I know I'm veering off here, but many times my parents like would go to the mall and my parents would give me $5, and at that time that was like a lot of money, right?
Yeah.
I'd spend my entire time, probably about 2 hours or so in the arcade, and I never got kidnapped.
Hey, there we go.
Probably not a great idea to leave me in the arcade for that long by myself, but
I mean,
listen,
I remember those days too. You know,
right?
they would drop you off at the arcade, and now it's
Yeah.
like, where's an arcade? Like,
I know.
which is sad.
But it was, like, the most fun part of one of the best parts of, like, my childhood, going to the mall, going to the arcade. So, these are, like, 2 of my favorites, although I'd love a Ms. Pac-Man one, but, I could get really out of hand with these little countertops because they're not that much,
Mhm.
but, I can't you know, I am an adult, so I try. I try to limit myself.
Yeah, good for you, good for you. You picked 2 good ones, though.
Thank
That's
you,
good.
thank you.
There's my dad. What's up, dad?
Larry.
Marcelo, thank you for being here, Marcelo. Okay,
Hey,
here we got some
Marcelo.
information.
Oh, awesome.
Gillen, Ewing, Wilson, Lanning, well, all the last names. Some of the smaller UK publishers.
Nice.
Cool. Convention is in Harrogate. Wider festival around Leeds City Centre. Cool. That's awesome.
Very nice.
Hello there. Glad to see you live. Thanks for being here, Zorf.
Hello, hello.
Love that. River.
Hi,
Hey,
River.
everybody.
All right, we got a
All
great,
right.
great group in the chat.
Absolutely. So, do we want to start with the past reads, what we've already read?
I'm like looking around.
I know.
Sure, that.
Is that going to be best?
Yeah, I think for me, I'm gonna go off of my iPad because I did a lot of my past recent reads. Woo, say that. Were either audiobooks or digital, so I have that on my iPad.
I also had some of that, and I'm going to Goodreads now.
Okay.
So we can go back and forth if you'd like.
And would you like to go first?
Oh, sure. So Sarah Anderson, who is Sarah Scribbles, you may know, Cryptid Club. She came out with a new book, Cryptid Club.
Okay. Yeah.
And I read that on Hoopla. Highly recommend it. It was so fun and so funny. And, her stuff's really short and just joyous. But it is about different cryptids and creatures being funny, like in her art style. And it was just so fun. Like you had Cthulhu and, Bigfoot and like just various different Mothmans in there.
Oh, nice.
Sometimes they're at parties or they're like dealing with breakups, just like funny, simple things. But in her humor, I loved it. So recommend that for sure.
Yeah, you told me that was on Hoopla, and I think I went in and favorited it. Oh boy. And then I forgot to go back to it. So
been there.
Yeah. That might be a good train read for me, right? You said it's
probably
pretty quick, right?
You could read that on a train. Yeah, 100%. It makes you feel accomplished because like you have a nice time and it's fun and then you're done. It's great. Yeah.
Cool. All right. So the most recent read that I finished was an audiobook by Cleo Coyle. It was a cozy mystery, and it's the first of the Coffee House Mysteries.
Ooh.
And it was called On What Grounds. I rated it a 3 out of 5 on Goodreads. We always say this. It's not a bad rating. I liked it. I didn't really, really, really like it. I didn't love it, but I enjoyed it. I loved hearing I read on I may have been I always reference Sue's Book Nook, right? I watch her all the time.
She's the best.
She is a go-to for me. So she had I found this book on her channel, but I read her review on Goodreads, and I want to say maybe she gave it a 3 as well, but I did laugh because she's like, all right, enough coffee talk, more mystery. But it's funny because there was tons of like how to make like the perfect cup and like I was trying to like jot everything down. I'll never do it, but
yeah, that's funny.
I just thought it was funny because there was mystery, but there was definitely a lot of coffee talk, and that's kind of I said talk, didn't I?
Oh, we love it.
My region's coming out. There was plenty of the coffee chatter, I'll say, but I enjoyed it. It was like your typical cozy little mystery in there, and it just makes you feel warm. There's no like there was murder, but nothing gory or anything like that. So I even though I gave it a 3, I'd say I'd recommend it, particularly if you're a coffee drinker. Chris, I know it's not your bag right now.
Yeah,
but I bet you'd still appreciate it.
And I do miss it, so I think I would like it.
I know, I'm trying to push that decaf on you, and then
I know.
you're gonna say, "Oh, there's still caffeine." I get it.
It's such a trace amount, though. Maybe I've been thinking about it lately. I'm like, I miss like a good like iced vanilla latte from Starbucks,
Yes.
which I would get every now and then as a treat, right? And I'm like,
Yes.
I know I can do that decaf because I know they have decaf version, but
Yeah.
I just haven't. I don't know. I don't know if it's like the complication of ordering it. It's not that hard, right?
Well, there's a way around it. Just order it on the app, and you just go pick it up.
You know what? Maybe I need to do that.
I know how you don't
Then I
love
know they won't get it wrong.
Well, that's it, right?
Yeah, yeah. Because I'm also scared of that. I'm like, will I even know if it is wrong? You know what I mean?
know.
Until it's too late when I'm like feeling palpitations or something.
There you go.
You know? But okay, here everyone's here. Richard's here. What's up? Evening all, just
Richard.
popping by before I head out to see Wakanda Forever. Awesome.
Oh, nice. Enjoy.
You know you're on YouTube too much when you have a new UPS battery backup to replace a dead one, but you can't turn your PC off long enough to do it. Dad, why are you ranting about this stuff in my chat right now?
He's so technical, right? He's
Yeah.
like talking all these terms.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's
battery packs. Listen, I plug into the wall and hope for the best.
Yeah. Yeah. If our stuff goes down, like it's just down for a bit, like whatever. I don't know. But I do also watch a lot of YouTube. Chris, my library is discontinuing Hoopla. Apparently only 1% of the card users. Okay. This is a PSA to everyone watching.
Yeah.
Check your local library. See if they have Hoopla. If you haven't been using it, if you think, oh, digital's not for me. Look, how many times have you waited in a line somewhere and you're just like, what if I could just read a comic book really quick? And there's some comics I've read all the way on my phone. Cryptid Club, I read the entire thing on my phone between like lulls at work. But it was wonderful. Never had an issue. Just saying. Plus, if you have an iPad or like some kind of tablet, it's perfect. Please just utilize Hoopla. If you love audiobooks, if you like movies, if you want to listen to albums, you can use that for everything. It's the best. I'm so sorry, Chris. That hurts me for you. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, and Chris, do they still have? I don't know exactly where you live, but do they use like Libby or a different app that you can use? That's a bummer because we use Hoopla so much. Even if I know I'm not going to get to it, I make sure. Right? We text each other. We're like, don't forget, get your borrows in.
Yeah, I think like a few months ago I forgot. I was so bummed out when it was the first of the month. I was like, oh, why did I do that? I forgot entirely. Like,
yeah.
Which is funny because I'm kind of like, sometimes I'm like, oh, I feel bad because I'm definitely not going to read these, but it utilizes the library. Like it's good for the creators. Like it's all positive. And if people are using it, they'll be like, yeah, we need to keep this.
Right.
So
I think we're more upset about it maybe than Chris. We're like, no.
Yeah, I'm going to think about that at night, Chris. I'm going to be sad for you. Paul Cornell, how am I forgetting chatting to a Doctor Who screenwriter? That's awesome. Nice. Complete a version of his Saucer Country Stay. Oh, with a new finale in the... Okay, I've read those. I'm like staring. I'm like, wait, is there an end now? Because I know those didn't end, those comics. Is that what you're talking about? Let me know. I'm like, this isn't live to that person. Let me know.
Yeah, you know way more about Doctor Who than I do.
Well, those weren't even Doctor Who books. So I'm like, wait, are we talking about comics now, or are we talking like, or do they just have the same name? Yeah,
I read that wrong. Okay, yeah.
Hi, Mary. Looks like you're a video games fan. What are your top 3 favorite video games ever?
Oh, I love this question. My top 3 are Pac-Man, Galaga, and my third one. Well, can I say Pac-Man and Miss Pac-Man as one? Is that fair?
Even if it isn't, it is here.
Okay, thank you. But my third is either going to be, I gotta say, it's sort of maybe, it's not as popular as a lot of others, but I love Burger Time. Do you ever play Burger Time, Kristen?
I don't think I have.
It's so fun. You have to walk over the buns.
Fun.
Then the beef, then the lettuce, then the other bun. It's fun. And like all these things are chasing you like hot dogs, salts, and peppers. And
oh, that's super fun.
I know. I may sound a little like, Mary, what are you taking? You're talking about running away from salt and peppers and hot dogs. But I would say that Pac-Man / Ms. Pac-Man, Galaga, Burger Time.
Very cool.
And anybody that wants to chime in and, tell me their favorites, of course.
Yeah,
I'm always open to that conversation.
we want to know.
I obviously like the older cabinet stuff, but
I feel like, oh man, I think the cabinet stuff that I remember the most is
Mhm,
like we just we had a trip to Chicago and we went to the
mhm.
Catcade. And we were hoping because they have some arcade machines and it's like a cat cafe, so like cats are running around. We
Yep.
really just petted the cats the whole time, but they were a lot of cool, like old,
Love that.
cabinets and stuff, which was super cool. But they had the Simpsons game,
Nice.
which I don't know if you remember this, but that was a huge like thing at our local Chuck E. Cheese when we were growing up.
Okay.
It was like the big one where like 4 people could play at one time, and we were
Nice.
so excited because it was there, and then we didn't touch it because there were cats. But yeah, that's a good one. You like
That's
that.
fun.
And I never even watched The Simpsons. I just love that video game.
You love the game.
Yeah, like Bart, you could take a skateboard and like hit everybody. Marge had her vacuum. She was wheeling around, It was a good
Nice.
time.
Oh, I just thought of too, like, I like some other, like, classics, like Space Invaders,
Mm.
Defender, Robotron, but I know. I know I was asked for a top 3, now I'm, like, giving you a top 10.
I think that's what we all really want. Yeah. My dad's saying we should do an SNL Delicious Dish parody show. That's funny. Plug it in. As long as it doesn't start a fire, it's fine. Hayden knows what's up.
I like
Still,
that advice.
still sad that UK libraries don't use Hoopla. It is
Wow.
so sad. It's not like anywhere overseas, is it? Like, it's super sad. Hate them. Hey, Farhan.
3
Sunday,
AM.
3 a.m. Oh, why are you not asleep? What's happening? I mean, peace, love from Malaysia. Thank you for being here.
Yes.
I feel for you.
Although
Do you
there are
just wake
times
up? Were you already awake? What's going on?
he can't maybe he has the insomnia thing, I mean,
Yeah,
I can relate to that,
that's fair. That's fair.
right? But the question is, do you have to work tomorrow? I don't know your schedule. If you have to
Mm,
work, then I'm sorry.
yeah, because I guess is it Sunday there? I suppose.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
3
a
AM here,
bummer.
yeah.
Oh yeah, Sunday. It literally says that. My dad says those salsa books need a big-assed hardcover in the worst way. Okay, Dad. Sounds good. It needs an ending more than anything, I think, right? Oh, Chris is very sad too. They have Libby, but the comic selection is bare bones.
Oh,
Also, my
wow.
local library's collection is not very good. I've already read all that I wanted from them. Have you tried, and maybe you have, but have you tried like suggesting purchases? I know I love doing that at my library, and they've bought like most everything that I've ever asked them to buy. And it brings good stuff into the collection. It's stuff you already want to read. And I
Yeah.
know how it works for mine. You can do it all online. You put in the title, the ISBN, like everything. And why they should get it is also an option. So that's fun for like if it's a long manga series. I'm like, well, you already have volumes 1 to
Oh.
9, so you should probably get 10. Like, and then if they do order it, it automatically gets put on hold to me. So that's really cool.
Oh, that's cool.
So I know it's different different places, but I know a lot of librarians have said we want people to request stuff because then we know at least one person will check it out.
Right. Right.
So totally recommend that.
Chris, what's interesting? So you're talking about the selection. I guess I'm fortunate where I live, so I can borrow from the New York Public Library and then also New Jersey libraries. And I often find with comics, the New York Public Library has a larger selection, which makes sense because of the population. But I know I'm definitely very fortunate that I can do that. Um, uh, that's how I read so far. I've read all of Blood on the Tracks, a favorite of Kristen's.
Yeah, love that.
Yeah,
It's very out there, but it's so fun.
that's gonna pop up on my list. So
Yeah, wonderful,
yeah.
wonderful, cool. Yeah, has the prelude, full Vertigo run, full IDW1, and now concluding issue. Yeah, there's a 400-page trade over the finale and a separate floppies. So people, okay, that's really cool. I didn't even realize it came out. So hey, Dad, that exists. There's an end now. I remember the Simpsons video game, so much fun. I know, right?
It's funny.
Kitty.
I don't really remember playing it, but for some reason I remember the vacuum. You said Marge with the
she just like
vacuum.
wheeled it around and like
I guess
hit
I did
people
have
with
to play it at one time then, but
it. Super fun. Okay, it's me, right? Okay.
yes, it's you.
So I reread Dissolving Classroom by
Oh,
Junji Ito. I also read the new Black Paradox, which I'm putting that together because I literally forgot to grab it. So I did. It was great. And rereading this was really fun. It's so gross, but but it was super fun. I will probably upgrade, but they get because it recently came out the hardcover,
Okay.
and people are complaining. And I finally saw it in real life when I was in Chicago. The hardcovers are not the same size as all the other Ito hardcovers.
Oh, well,
What
that's
are we
something to
doing,
complain about.
Viz?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very annoying. So I'm like, this is a paperback. It's so much shorter. I
Yeah.
think the hardcover has maybe a little bit extra, but I'll probably still get it
Mm.
because
I
I need
understand.
it. I don't know. Which I'm
Don't
usually not like that with upgrades. I'm really
Yeah,
not.
you're pretty good with upgrades, like,
Thank you.
there has to be, like, a real reason for you to do it.
Right, right.
Yeah.
But I feel like this is reason enough. I'm like, I
Yeah.
have everything else I love from him in hardcover.
But, you know, doesn't it make you wonder what goes on in is there, like, a marketing sales meeting and they're like, "Okay, we're gonna put this out, let's make it a hardcover, but let's make it a different size so it doesn't
Uh,
match up with anything else."
right? I really don't know what they were
Like,
thinking.
they clearly don't, like, to me, that just is such a sign that they don't like, you have to know your audience, right? Like,
Right.
listen, you know everybody's still gonna go out and buy it, maybe that's the point.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
maybe more would buy it, right? If it would, like, line up. Like, I imagine there's a percentage of people that are like, "No, it's a different size, I'm not getting it." Right?
Right. Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
know.
I it's annoying. That's all I know. I don't know what they're thinking. It's very annoying.
Oh my god. Alright, well, you'll have to show us when you get when you do upgrade, you'll have to show us the
Yeah.
difference.
Oh, I'm sure I'll complain.
And
I'll complain again.
it'll be fresh in our minds then, right?
Right.
Alright, let me see. What was next for me? Oh, Blood on the Tracks, volume 5.
Mm.
Um, you always say this about this manga, you can't really say much about it without ruining without spoiling, but
Yeah.
we keep saying the same stuff, like, you just have to jump into it and just expect a wild, like, "What the F is going on?" ride, right? Remember
Absolutely.
after I read the 2nd volume, remember I had to text you, I was like, "Did I just read what I thought I read? And should
Yeah.
I continue?" Because you're like, "Trust me,
Yeah.
just keep going. It gets weirder." And that's sort of all I needed to know to keep going.
Mhm.
So yeah, so I'm up to volume 5. I have volume 6 on hold and, can't wait. So it's still going, right? Did it end?
It's still going. I think
Okay.
I'm like trying to look at my shelf from here. I think it's through volume 11 now, 10 or
Okay.
11.
Yeah.
It may have ended in Japan. I'm not sure.
Okay.
Someone may correct me in the chat, but please do. Um, I don't think it's going to be that long, and especially like the last one I read, I'm like, I don't know how much more we can do here. Like
Yeah.
in a good way, like it's really went somewhere. I
Yeah.
won't tell you what, but
Oh boy.
yeah, it's also unexpected. Like I feel like
Oh,
I continue to not be able to predict it,
right.
which is good because it's essentially a psychological thriller, right?
Right. Right.
Um, which is great, and those volumes are so quick to read
Oh my
in the best way, though,
yeah.
right?
I read 1 volume on my way into work. So, that's like
Yeah,
a talk about feeling productive feeling, right?
right, right. I mean, so many people complain and say that manga's like so quick. One, I don't find that for the majority of it, but
Right.
I'm not like an extremely fast reader, so
Me either,
maybe
me either.
maybe that's my issue. But Blood on the Tracks is so fast and I love
Yeah.
it. I'm like, I don't even I've bought every volume. I don't mind that I paid for that. I wanted to read it and consume it. And if it took me
Yeah.
2 seconds, great. I have other books to read. So I like that.
Yeah, I think it's because the way I mean, obviously, it's the way it's written. That might seem obvious,
Right.
but I think it is the way it's written because you literally are like the page turning is crazy because you can't believe what you're
Yeah.
witnessing.
Oh my gosh. Especially after the first big moment,
Yeah.
which I think
Yeah.
was at the end of the first volume, probably.
Yes.
It's like,
Yes.
oh well, I can never stop reading this
Right.
because what did I just read?
Because someone in this book is demented.
Like by a lot, yeah.
Like, wouldn't you say
Really.
like anybody I don't think this ruins anything. Pretty much if you're into like, if you like true crime, I think you might like this book because that's like a certain mind that likes a certain story.
Right.
I think the
Oh, yeah.
manga's for you, right? Like,
I agree. I think if you like any sort of thriller,
yeah,
and maybe if you've never even like jumped into manga before, but you like thrillers, I
I agree.
think it's a perfect bridge there.
I agree.
Oh, and it's so messed up. It's so messed up.
There are times I'm like, there's a couple things that happen. I think well, there's one big thing that happens, and I think you'll know what I mean. Where I'm like, am I grossed out? Do I want to continue?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
And that's when I text you, and you're like, just trust me.
Yeah.
Trust
I know
me.
which I don't know exactly what you mean because I was there too, but I was like, wait, I still need to know what happens, right?
Right.
And I'm further in it, and I have to say, I don't know how to say this without like I don't want to ruin anything,
How
which I
annoying are
won't
we right now? Are we like really annoying right now? We're like, oh, let's talk about this book so
without
much.
talking about it.
I'm not going to tell you anything about it.
Blood on the Tracks. Y'all should like read it 100%. It's demented. Just know, like, if you have any sort of triggers, PS, you just maybe be aware. Okay, just be
Careful.
aware of
Yeah,
that. There's a lot
absolutely.
going on, but there's also a lot of trauma. I can say that.
Yeah.
And I think the parts you're thinking of happened because of that.
Yes.
So when you're like, I'm grossed out, and you can be, but I think there's a reason. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
It's not just like
I got you.
gratuitous and like it, you know.
I'll probably get as I go. I'll get more background on that certain demented character.
Right. Oh, yeah. It's a lot. It's a lot.
Maybe I shouldn't say demented. Maybe that's not fair because I don't know
Well,
yet. I don't know how they got to be where they are.
You're making me want to reread it, which honestly would be really great for my reading challenge. I could just zoom back through that.
You're like, I read the whole thing in one day.
Yeah. And then I reread it the next day. Hayden wants a remake of Simpsons Hit and Run. Was that like the car game they came out with for some? I don't remember it. I feel like that may be it though. Tell me if that's right.
Sounds fun.
My dad says DC's worse. They put a ton of standard size hardcovers and they title them as deluxe hardcovers. That's incredibly annoying because then you don't even know what you're buying, right?
Yeah. Like to the point where you're like, what if you want to buy something, you have to actually go online and like look at the dimensions? That's crazy.
Nobody's trying to read numbers when they're buying books. What do we do other than the price?
I think if I had a question on that, I'd just reach out to your dad. Be like, listen, they're saying this is deluxe.
Big or not?
Is it really? No, yes, I don't know.
Yeah, totally. Farhan's sleeping pattern is completely different from my fellow countrymen since I'm in the media line covering sports, mostly in the UK and Europe. Okay. We get that. Yeah. I get the media part.
Yeah. Farhan, I happen to work in sports media too, so I thankfully have an office job, but I totally get what you're saying. And yeah, get your sleep in.
Yeah, for sure. Blood on the Tracks is still ongoing. Volume 13 came out in Japan in April 2023. Okay.
James.
Thank you, James. I appreciate that. Of course, James has all the knowledge.
He's the best.
You guys definitely make me want to read it. We hope you do. What's the title again? Blood on the Tracks.
Yeah. Maybe if we think of it, no pressure, Kristen. Maybe we'll put all the books that we mentioned in the description. Is that too much? I could also just drop it in the comments if that's easier.
Yeah, we can do that.
Same difference, I guess.
Yeah, I got to make a list now.
Aw.
Got to make a list now.
Well, I can be accountable for the ones that I mentioned, so.
Okay. Got you. I'm like, what did I mention so far?
I think we've talked about like 2 books so far.
I know, right?
Yammering on about Blood on the Tracks.
Yeah, because I just mentioned Dissolving Classroom. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. This is a book we've both read that I read on Hoopla last month. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to mention it because I just haven't read a lot within the past week. That's just my life right now.
This is a judge-free zone.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
If you want to talk about something you read 6 months ago, I'm going to be here and just Kristen.
Thank you. I think one day what I hope to be happening is weekly, bi-weekly maybe. Mm-hmm. We can jump on here and talk about within that time period what we've read. But I don't know.
Well, let's tell everybody about what really happened last night. We're like, "Oh, yeah," like, earlier in the day, we're
Yeah.
"You had plans." I didn't have plans, but, I was home, but whatever. And we're like, "Oh, yeah, maybe if we feel like it, we'll just jump on live on later on tonight." And then come, like, around 10, we're like, I'm kinda tired."
Yeah, yeah. And then I was like, "Oh, I'll get in bed and it'll be so great because I'll be able to read some to talk
Right.
about stuff for this." No.
Nope.
No, I didn't do that. You know what I did? I laid in bed and I was like, "I'm so tired," and then I put on YouTube.
Yep.
That's what I did. Just being honest, everyone. I feel like we've all been there, right?
Yeah. I was
We've all
watching
been there.
YouTube. I watched a little bit last night too, but I did do some reading. And
Well, I
when I
get it. You're an overachiever. I got you.
not to brag or anything,
I
but
mean, you're just so good at reading. I understand.
and then I posted on Instagram,
Oh, just too cool. Just too good at everything. Hey, that's a plug. Miriam's Bookstagram. Check it out.
Hey, check me out.
Yeah. Is it my turn? Am I talking? Okay.
Yeah, you're talking.
Talking. You guys, we went to Chicago and I I had an incident at a concert. And
Oh
now I'm
boy.
just like, what's wrong with me? Every time something weird happens. It's
Are you
pretty
gonna
cool. Anyway.
Well, listen, you brought
I'm
it
all
up.
right.
Are you gonna share?
All right, guys. So I
Wow,
went
that
to
was
see
easy.
yeah, why not? I went to see Tegan and Sarah and we got front row and we had VIP tickets. So front row of the VIP, it was an acoustic concert. They did a Q&A. They were lovely and wonderful as every time I've seen them. They're my favorite. I love them. So stoked we got in the front. I was 10th in line, right? It's great. And we met a lot of lovely people like in front of us or right behind us actually, and they were a cool group of people. Anyway, then after their sound check party, which is the acoustic songs and the Q&A, we had to get out of the theater. So we lost our great spots. And we had to and that whole security, they just had no idea what was going on with this line. This is a longer story than I meant to tell, but it was
Listen,
it was
people
chaos.
wanna know. They wanna know what
Yeah,
happened.
it was chaos. We were all scared we weren't going to get in our right order because they numbered every badge we had. So we were supposed to get back in the same order, right? Long story short, it worked out. We got in. The security guard who was letting us in, though, let the first 10 people in, and Reed had gotten in front of me at that point. We were 10 and 11. She tried to clothesline me. She put her arm out.
Wow.
As I'm going in, and I looked at her because she was already rude and it was a whole situation.
Oh,
And
no.
girl, and I've never felt like this in my life, but I looked at her and I went I kind of matrix over her arm, under
Wow.
her, yeah. And I was like, and I just went past, which feels extra funny now with what happened. But anyway, I got in. It's my point. I don't know why she was trying to cut everybody off. It just didn't make sense. She was a lot.
Yeah,
I don't know.
they usually ask you, like, how many people any kind of line I've been in like that, they ask
Right?
you, like, how many people are in your party? Like,
I'm
you
like,
know.
why are you trying? Hi, no, we're not going to break us up. Okay. So I went in. We got our spots back. It was great. And the opening act was chill, acoustic
Nice.
person. She's very I liked. She was very funny. It was her and another girl who's playing guitar, and everything was totally fine
Mhm.
until right the second to last song, when I started to feel really weird, and I felt it, and I thought in my head I was like, okay, just breathe, and I was trying to breathe deep and breathe out my mouth, and I was like, I don't know what's going on. I remember getting hot. And then I grabbed Reed's arm and I laid my head down on him. And then the next thing I remember is waking up to security guards surrounding me.
Oh my gosh.
And I was didn't know what was going on. I was standing, right? So it was extra weird. I don't know. And then I was like, where's Reed? Right? Because I couldn't see him.
Mhm.
Just security guards around me. And then I saw him, thankfully, eventually. And they got me out of there. The crowd had parted. The opening act stopped performing. Apparently, when I came to and I started walking away, which I don't remember either, but the whole crowd started clapping.
Aw.
Which was nice, I guess. But they got me out of there to the front of the venue, and there was a nurse, and she took all my vitals, and she asked if I did drugs.
Oh my
She was convinced I'd done drugs, and
You
I
are
was like,
the last
no.
person
I
right, to be asked that question.
I know. She was like, have you had any drinks or drugs? No judgment. And I was like, no.
You're like,
She
"I
was like,
had."
no, but drinks or drugs. And I was like, literally Nothing. I got nothing
Yeah.
for you. Okay. There's no reason for this lady. I don't know.
Yeah.
Except there was. I hadn't ate since like 1 p.m. and it was night at that point. I didn't drink a lot like of water throughout the day because I was worried I'd be in a crowd and have to pee. So I think it was a lot of combination. Plus, we were in the
Yeah.
front. There was a lot of people. It was hot.
Probably adrenaline too. Like this is like one of your favorite all-time bands about,
Yeah, and
So
that's what a bummer, right? Because I
I
passed
know.
out, couldn't get back to the front. Reed was like, "We're not gonna even try that. Like, you have to stay in the back," which I get.
Yeah. Good call.
It was yeah, and the nurse was like, "Don't go back up there. Like, you just don't know. You need to be in the back in case you need to come back to me." And I was like, "Okay." And now all I have to show for that is like an enormous bruise on my left knee. Like, I don't know
Oh
if
man.
I think I went down against the rail and like hit it, but it's still like sore. Like I have sore knees right
Wow.
now.
It's
Yeah.
too bad that that you couldn't have done that while Tegan and Sarah were on though.
I know, right? So then at least I can be like, well, now they know what I look like.
I think maybe
Now
they
they
would have
know
like
me.
brought you up on stage or sent you some sort of nice care package at
I
least, but
mean,
and I
I
only
feel
joke
like they
about
will.
that because I know you're okay if,
Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah,
I'm
and
not cruel.
I got to go back in and I got to see the show, so because
Yeah.
she was like, "Do you think you need an ambulance?" All my vitals are fine,
Yeah.
but she did say she was like, "Well, you were gray when we got to you,"
Really?
and I was like, "I don't know what that means." I don't know what that means. I guess just all the blood. I don't know.
Yeah.
Um, but everything else is okay. So that's my life, guys.
Did they give you any water or like piece of can
Oh
like
yeah.
something? They give you something?
Yeah. She gave me a bottle of water, made me drink it before I even stood up again, and then she gave me another bottle of water and said, "You need to
Good.
drink this too." So
Okay.
I drank 2 bottles, which
Good.
I made a joke during it to Reed when she was taking my other vitals, like my blood pressure and stuff. And I was drinking this water, and I leaned over to him. I go, "This was $5 free." Because they were
Sucker.
going around and it was $5 for a water bottle. And then she gave me another one. I go, $10 for it. And he's like, stop making jokes. He was so mad at me. I was like, I'm trying to live my life and
Yeah.
breathe.
Oh man.
That's my story, guys.
All right. Well, listen.
Yeah, it
It's
happens.
it's the one that you can always share now, Tegan and Sarah
Yeah.
comes up, like, "Oh, I remember the time I passed out."
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And
Well, and
when you talk to them again, like if you do a meet and
yeah,
greet, you could definitely that's something you could share with them, you
it's
know.
true.
I'm just looking out for you, like, I want you to get, like, something out of this from them, like,
Yeah, I
I don't
still
know.
think I need to tweet the opening act because, like, she stopped like
Aw,
playing after
that's
that,
nice.
because everybody in the front row, I guess, was screaming for security to
Yeah,
like do something. Which was great, I guess.
yeah.
But yeah, she seemed nice. Too bad, but at least you got to see the show, so I hope you feel okay. Thank you. I do feel
Aw,
okay. It was just super weird.
wow.
Farhan says, other than Ito's Uzumaki, Gyo and Tome, what do you guys recommend? I'm into horror stuff, so I'm open to getting more stuff. Deserter, Shiver, Frankenstein, Liminal Zone, Black Paradox, etc. There's so much, right? Farhan, you've probably heard Maddie and I tell you to not go around No Longer Human. So whatever you do, don't buy No Longer Human, especially
Yeah.
if that's all you've read. Frankenstein's cool. In the first part of Frankenstein, it is his retelling of Frankenstein in a way. And then the rest are like short stories. So that's cool. Shiver's also a short story collection. I'm like trying to look at mine. Fragments of Horror is great too. Also short stories. Smashed, short stories. So if you want to just try some, I think short story collections would be a good way to go.
Yeah, and out of that list, I have read Uzumaki, is it Tomie or Tomi?
I think it's Tomie. I always
Tomie.
end up saying Tomie, but I think it's Tomie. Yeah,
I've read those 2, and I think I've read either are Deserter and Shiver both short story collections?
I believe so. Yes.
I know I should know, but I feel like I've read one or the other. But I have Black Paradox and, Liminal Zone. I have those 2 to read as well, so I'm taking your advice as well, Kristen.
Yeah, I mean, and those are. I gotta say, I liked Black Paradox. It was the most different, I think,
Okay.
of his stories I've read. Still very interesting and in a good time. Liminal Zone was really good too. It was more in the realm of like what I think we're used to with Ito.
Okay.
I'm trying to think, is the blue one Deserter, Farhan? Or anyone? Maybe I should look up the cover. I can't see mine from here.
It's
I
Deserter. I
feel like
picture it. Is it orange? Which one? This is a deep conversation. What
I think
color is the cover?
I think orange is smashed. I want
Okay.
to say does you know what, I'm gonna look it up. I don't know why I keep I don't know why I keep guessing. Let's see, Deserter. Because that is the one I remember. No, Deserter's like pink. Okay.
Oh, okay.
What am I thinking of?
There's so many.
I mean, that's the thing. And again, they're all great except you know what I'm gonna say. No
I
longer
know what
human.
you're gonna say.
Shiver is the one I'm thinking of.
Okay.
Shiver. Okay. Farhana, I'm going to recommend Shiver because I distinctly remember the cover of that one, except clearly not the color. I think it's just the title I wasn't sure on. There's a really gross story in there, like maybe the nastiest, but they're all so memorable. And I read that one like, I want to say a few years ago, and it's still like, there's certain ones that stuck with me. So I think I'd recommend Shiver right now.
Is that story, does it involve, I'll say, oil?
Yeah.
Okay, I remember then.
Yeah.
Then it's Shiver that I've read.
Yeah. And that's also the one with the balloons.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
which I
Okay.
just they're so unique in there.
You know, I don't trust my memory so much. I'm gonna see if I've read that.
I get it. I get it.
Oh, I did. I gave it 4 stars. Okay, then I definitely.
Nice.
I'm not misremembering anything. Cool.
And thank you, James. That is the one I was thinking of. Did you go?
I don't. Wait, did you go? I know.
Did I go?
You told your story, but I think it was connected to something. To
Oh,
a book,
that's right.
Okay.
That's right. That's right. Here we go. Sorry, and I got to pull this back up.
No worries.
Okay. I was saying you've also read this. I read it last month. Everything is Okay by Debbie Tung, I think. Tung.
Yes.
Which Mary and I think we both read like everything from her.
Yeah.
And they're all on Hoopla. Check out anything from Debbie. Like, just, it's all so good. But Everything is Okay, I think, was on a whole other level. And that's saying something because I've liked everything Debbie's put out. But it's so good. I highly, highly recommend it for everyone. I think it's wonderful. It is a graphic novel, but it's about her life and her dealing with depression. And I just loved it. I was like, this is like a perfect book. Like, I really felt that way.
I feel like her books are like, I don't know, they're like a warm hug, right?
Yeah.
I've read, what was the first one? Is it Book of Love or Love of, I don't know. You're looking it up.
I'm going to look it up because I can't remember either.
I can't remember if that's her first book, but I remember reading it on Hoopla, and I loved it so much I went out and I wanted to buy a copy. Book Love, okay.
Yeah.
I went and bought a copy to own on my shelf because it was just so
so good.
Anybody that reads would love that book, I think.
Absolutely. Book Love was amazing. Quiet Girl in a Noisy World was also so good.
Yes, yes.
Happily Ever After and Everything in Between. Also loved it. So really highly recommend all of those.
Absolutely.
And Chris agrees. I love Debbie Tung drawings, yeah.
All right, am I up?
Yeah.
Okay, so you also read this book, and I picked it up because of you. I borrowed it from the library, but already returned it. And I realized I returned it late. I'm always asking you, like, what things I should know. Do you remember if I ever shared with you that my library discontinued late fees? Have I ever said that to you?
Oh, I don't know if you have, but that's great.
I really don't know if they have, is what I'm saying.
Oh.
So when I returned this, I could owe some.
That's funny.
I might owe like 50 cents or something. But anyway, it was Crumbs.
Right? Okay.
And
yeah. Think you felt the same as I did.
You know, this goes a little bit against what I said earlier. I gave it 3 stars. I enjoyed the art. Very cute story.
Yeah.
If I'm being honest, I think, who am I to say? But I think it went on a little too long.
Yeah.
But I did really enjoy the art. And, It's a feel good story. But
I also
that's
gave it
all.
3 stars.
Yeah.
And it was on, like, look, we agree. 3 stars means you liked it in some way, right?
Right.
Even if it's the lower end of it. And I feel like it was the lower end of 3 stars for me. Does
Yeah.
that make sense?
Yes.
Because I remember, like, I remember getting to the end of it and I was just like, "Oh, that's it?" Like, for something that went on that long,
Right.
do you know what I mean? I felt like I needed something more substantial at the end there. Or maybe the end wrapped up super quick. Like, it was something like that.
Yeah, and I'm okay with sort of like a, "Oh, that's it," ending if it's a slice of life kind of story, but I didn't
Sure.
feel this was supposed to be like that, right?
No. No,
Okay.
because there was, like, magical elements and
Right.
there was a lot
Yeah.
going on in the world. Yeah, I felt the
Yeah.
same. I felt the same. Now, for a library read, I feel like we could recommend that. You check
That's
it
true.
out, see if that's something you like. Maybe you like it more than we did, but we still
Yeah.
liked it. I think
Yeah.
ultimately we were both in the middle there. So, but I'm glad you felt the same.
You're like, "I told you."
Zorf says Nailbiter is pretty horrific too. I really enjoyed Nailbiter. I'd
I
like to
still have
reread
to get
that.
to that. I haven't read it
Yeah.
yet.
Oh, it's fun. I'll need to reread it sometime for sure.
It's about serial killers, right? Or a serial
Yeah.
killer? Yeah.
Yeah, like a town that, like, not breeds them, but kind of like a
Oh.
lot of serial killers come from this one town.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah, it's fun. I think you'll like it. This is why Goodreads needs to allow partial stars. Well, Goodreads needs
Chris,
to do a lot of things, Chris.
if only, right?
They finally figured out the reread thing. You know how we didn't used to be able to actually count rereads for anything? Do you remember
Mm,
those days? And
I
people
don't
would just, like, edit their reviews and be like, "I reread this," and blah, blah, blah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, but now it actually counts and we can
Okay.
track it, which is nice. Because, like, I wanna know when I read stuff, you know? One
Speaking
day.
of new things, changing topics a little bit, but I noticed on Instagram today, I don't know if everybody has this yet. So when you go to post, not a story or a reel, but just a regular post, you have the ability to add music to it now.
Oh,
So I tried that out today. I'm like, look at this. I put a little Stevie Wonder in my
yeah.
post.
Oh,
So
that's cool.
I don't know.
I'll have to check that out.
Yeah, I got excited over it. Not sure why.
I mean, I feel like it's reminding us all of, like, MySpace days.
Yeah. Yes.
Right. Where we could
Exactly.
have that, like,
Yeah. I want
song play.
I want to have Instagram top friends. Damn it! Come on.
Yeah, I know, right? Come on. I guess, their algorithm isn't too bad though, because, like, it always shows me people I always click on,
Yeah, me
like, at
too.
least for the, like, stories and stuff, and I'm like, "Okay."
Yeah, it
You
puts
know what I
them.
like.
I think it puts them first, right?
Yeah, it
I
does,
kind of
yeah.
like that too. Yeah.
I like it. So then I have to search for people, Every
Yes.
time you post something, I'll find it. It's right there,
Exactly.
you know?
Exactly.
You and Oliver Tree, it's like the front, Antigua and Sarah.
Oh wow! I really rate
Yeah, you
Oliver and
do.
Tegan and Sarah. Wow.
Yeah, yeah, all my faves.
All right,
Um,
your turn. Right? Talk,
yeah, I'm
talk
I'm
about
gonna jump
comics.
to, a prose I read, which
What?
I I know, I know. Listen,
I'm teasing
October.
you. You've been like
No,
ripping
it's
through prose like
I
crazy.
don't know what's going on with me. And look, y'all, I know it's the Comic Slayer channel, but sometimes we read prose around here, so I'm gonna
Right.
talk about it.
Yeah. So thanks for letting us do that because I have some. As we get deeper into this,
Oh yeah,
I have some prose too.
I do as well. But oh, what's up, Max?
Hey Max.
Thanks for being here. And this is one I already returned to the library, and I'm so sorry, everybody. I know it's better if I can put something up here, but I have to talk about it because it really I blew through it. I feel like I really did. Like you said, I'm ripping through prose. I don't know what the deal is. And I don't know if we can see this, but this is called Forward March. It looks like exactly what it is, which is a YA. I'm already laughing. I haven't read YA in a long time. No offense to YA. YA is great, but YA story about some band nerds in high school
Nice.
who fall in love, right? There's like a political storyline throughout it, like their parents are running for like the presidential office, and like,
Hmm.
it's set at an interesting school. I think it was like maybe like a border school or something like that. What are they called? Why am I thinking? Is that what it's
Uh,
called?
boarding school. Yeah.
Boarding school. But I
I
said
think
border school.
border
Boarding
school.
school.
Border school might be for like dogs or something.
You're right. Yeah. Um, there's just like a lot of interesting things happening. There was like an asexual character and just
Cool.
like some representation I feel like we don't see a lot of.
Right.
And I really liked it. I got to the end and gave it 4 stars, and
Nice.
it was a nice like library read that I could just jump into and just not have to think a lot. You know what I mean? Like I just
Yeah.
wanted to like chill out my brain. It was a nice little story, and I really liked it. So
That's awesome.
yeah.
And now is that one you just kind of discovered, or did somebody recommend it?
Yeah, I just looked at the cover and I was like, well, this looks gay. And also, I like the cover. So I'm going to read that. Also, like they were playing instruments that, let's see, I think the main character played saxophone and her interest played drums. So I was just like, okay, saxophone. That
cool.
was just different, right? I was like, okay,
Right.
that's fun.
Yeah.
So I'll try this out. And I just happen to really like it. So
Cool.
yeah.
I love that. All right. I have one more of like recent reads, we'll call it. And then after, well, I'll go on as long as I don't know. This is like like we haven't even touched.
I know.
That's okay.
I know.
I have no.
That's how it
Listen,
goes, right?
I have no plans today, so
Yeah.
until you
Well,
like kick me off, I'll keep yapping. So
okay. Yeah. I mean, if you need to go, you just tell me.
no, I'm good. I'm good. I warned Kim, stay out there.
Mm,
You know, the dog's in here with me. I have water. I'm fine.
love that.
All right, so here we go again. I promise not to go on as long, but I also finished Blood on the Tracks, Volume 4. So, you all already know how we feel about that book, so
I love that.
I'll leave it there.
I love that. I'm going to transition to an audiobook I read.
Nice.
It was by the Mel C of the Spice Girls.
Listen, it is not a live stream or video until I always say this about you and Maddie,
It's so true.
until
It's
you
so
talk
true.
about the Spice Girls.
It's so true. Hayden, are you still here? Because Hayden and I are the number one Spice
Awesome.
fans, I feel like. But it's called The Sporty One, My Life as a Spice Girl. I gave it 4 stars. Here's the thing, Melanie C.
Uh-oh.
I thought she was great at narrating. She told a great story. However, I will say, anyone who's like, I'd like to hear more about these Spice Girls, which is what I wanted from that story. I feel like it was the first hour, maybe 2 hours of, I believe, a 14-hour audiobook. That was like her early life, like growing up, her history of the family, blah, blah, blah. And look, I get it. It's a memoir. But I just wanted the Spice Girls stuff, okay? And that's my own issue. Okay, I get it. She had to tell her life story. But I'll tell you what, when they got into the Spice Girls stuff, I mean, it talked deep into like publishing, like what happened with them in the very beginning, how they even got to know each other. The Spice Girl that wasn't. Like there was a Spice Girl before all the yeah. So like there's some juicy, interesting stuff, especially with like the music publishing aspect and how things were so different back then. And, there really wasn't a girl group like them, and no one had ever like broken any charts who was an all girl act. And like, it was fascinating. So once it got to that point on, I was in. I was like, this is great. She's got some really great celebrity stories. She's like really good friends with Anthony Kiedis from the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Nice.
And one of the Sex Pistols, I forget who. Yeah, just like there's a Madonna story. I thought of you.
Hey.
Yeah, so there's a really good Madonna story. Who was
by the way,
her, apparently.
I'm a huge Madonna
person,
so
yeah.
When anybody, I'll scratch their eyes out if if anyone says anything bad about Madonna. I know she's a bit much, but that's my gal. Like everybody, just let me have it, okay?
I do have to say, I don't know if you've talked about this, but League of Their Own was the baseball field. That's my hometown.
So I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's where I grew up. So like they filmed that at that baseball field back then, and apparently Madonna only had bad things to say about the city, which actually kind of makes me laugh. Like that's my hometown, but also I'm like, okay, it's not like amazing, I guess.
that wasn't nice of her. Come on.
But yeah, it was a little mean.
Yeah, I apologize on her behalf on that.
Thank you so much.
You've been carrying that around a while, so.
Yeah, I think so. But hey, I've been in that same baseball stadium that she was in, so
that's pretty cool.
That's something, I guess.
I like that.
I hope we get that Glastonbury reunion. Yes, Hayden, I do too. Please, like, we need it, Spice Girls. So
Awesome.
anyway, I do recommend Hayden. I think you should listen to it. That's who I recommend this to. Hayden, listen to that Melanie C book. It's a good time.
I'm sure it's fun to hear her narrate it too, right? You know.
She's got such a great accent.
Yeah.
As this silly American over here, I'm like, yeah, it's a lovely accent. I like it. So it's cool to listen to.
That's cool. All right, let me see here. Oh, I just lost my spot. Did I tell? I may have told you. I don't know if I told our friends in the chat that I finished Batman, Harley and Ivy.
I don't even know if you did.
I did finish it. Thank you, because you gifted that to me.
Mm-hmm.
I rated it 3 stars. There seems to be a common theme here.
Yeah.
3 stars. Love the art.
Yeah.
Probably my favorite part of it. I think a lot of people say that about that book.
Mm-hmm.
I can't say that I know a ton about Harley, but it was a really fun book. The hijinks ensued. And yeah, I don't have a whole lot to say about it, but 3 stars. And thank you again for my care package.
I believe I rated it the same. Because
I think you did too.
Yeah, and it's not that deep, y'all. Like, it was fun.
Yeah.
It's fun. I love the art too. It's not that deep.
Yeah.
I'm sure I own the physical book. I think I own too many to remember. Hayden, how relatable are your words? We also own too many to remember. I'm going to speak for you. I think you can agree with that.
Oh, man. You know what that makes me think of? Owning so many to remember. I was creeping around on my bookshelf before this live stream just to figure out, like, when I was preparing, like, what I want to read next week. And I was in my classic section. And I'm like, Mary, seriously? Like, there's one book I'm going to show. I almost bought it this week because I didn't realize I had it. It's ridiculous. But
I love that.
Particularly with classics, I tend to pick up like so many different editions. I'm not sure why, but sometimes they're just so pretty. But
I get it. I think I own 2 Jane Eyres and I have not read it, y'all. Like, I need to get with it.
I definitely own more than 2. That might be a fun video just to show, like,
here are multiple things.
Here are all the titles I bought 5 times.
Yeah, love that. Love that.
Oh, man. All right, I think you're up next, right?
Okay. I read, of course, volume 7 of A Man and His Cat.
Oh, very nice.
It's just always such a warm hug. I love it so much. It's only gotten better and better.
Nice.
And there's this like classical pianist rivalry situation. There's extra cats now. Like, it's all interesting and good. And I just love every volume. It continues to be like my favorite ongoing series.
I don't mean to spoil anything, but do I see 2 cats on that cover? Does he have 2 cats now?
It's actually not 2 cats.
Oh.
So one of his rivals had to go overseas for like work and left his cat with them to cat sit. And they're actually siblings, these 2.
Aww.
And these extra cats just appeared in this volume. They were like there was like this, and you know what? I'll ruin this little part. It's not a ruin. It's great. Let me try to find a little photo of it.
I read
but there's this.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say there's this guy who's like really angry at the main character, like not a fan of him, and he's on his way to his house and he's gonna show him, right? And then he sees like this box out in the pouring rain of these kittens.
Oh no.
And he's never cared about pets in his life. Like, he couldn't have them when he was a kid, but of course that broke his heart open, and he carries his whole box there, and he's like, can you keep them here? I promise I'll care for them. And that's the rest. Like, and then the volume gets going, and it was lovely, and it made me
very
happy.
cute.
Yeah.
So I read the first volume of that manga, and I didn't continue. I think I told you why. And I think you giggled a little bit at me. Do you remember why?
I don't remember why.
Well, I don't know why, but the way that guy is drawn, he's a little creepy to me. Am I? So, like, although I enjoyed, obviously, I used to have cats. I used to have 3 cats one time in my life, and I adore cats. But I don't know, something about the way that guy is drawn. I understand this is just like a weird thing that I had with it.
This guy.
Guys, see? I mean, is it me?
You know, I feel like the more you get into the volumes, though,
I
because
know.
he's such a nice, lovely guy.
You're
And
like,
he's
Mary,
such a wholesome character.
don't be so superficial and think about looks, Mary,
I mean,
please.
I promise if you get into this, you're gonna be like, "This is great. You're right." I'm just
All right.
saying.
You know what?
Just saying.
Maybe I continue with volume 2, borrow it from the library, and
It won't hurt you.
be a little more open-minded, you know?
Maybe give it another shot. Yeah.
Uh,
Hayden's judging me in the chat. You own 2 copies and still haven't read Jane Eyre. I need to lay down. Look, I know. I'm
Hayden,
sorry.
you only speak the truth here.
I'm so sorry. I know. I need to do it.
I'm telling you, I think that'll be a good audiobook for you.
Yeah, you're right. You need to tell me which one you liked.
I will.
I'm sure there's
I
like a
will.
million versions. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it made me cry. I mean, I don't
Look, I'll read Jane Eyre if you continue to read A
Uh-oh.
Man and His Cat.
Fair. We could do
Okay,
that.
done. Deal.
All right, so I think I'm ready to go into what I'm currently reading.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's
do
where I
that.
am. So it's taken me a little time to get through this book. I don't know why, because I am enjoying it. It's true crime.
Mhm.
It's, I'd say, a classic in true crime because it's actually, I don't want to misspeak here, but I think this is the basically first of its kind. And it's In Cold Blood by Truman Capote.
Mm.
And I think what could be taking me a little bit longer, there's a lot of characters in the story because they're really trying to they want to really build up the small town and they want you to get to know all the characters. There's a family that's murdered. Obviously, that's what it's centered around. But they really want you to get the small town feel and how everybody knows each other. So there's a lot of characterization, and at times, I get a little lost in that. I'm not great about like following so many characters at once, but I am really enjoying it, and I completely respect that it was like one, the first. I don't know if it's really the first to do it, but it might be where it's a not. I guess I'm losing the word that if we all Googled it right now, we could find it right away. But it's like the first of the genre where true crime is written about. Anyway, my point is, it's taken me a little bit longer. I'm about halfway through, a little bit longer than I thought it would, but I'm definitely interested and I will finish it. And it's this may sound odd, but it's just a book that I really respect in the sense, of being a true crime fan. And yeah, so the other Truman Capote book that I've read is Breakfast at Tiffany's, and I love that. I've read the book and I've also listened to the audiobook. So he's definitely one I'm probably going to be going through his catalog. So, and this copy, not that we have smell-o-vision here, it smells like an old book. This may be one of the books that I have a couple copies of because they're different editions. I know.
That.
I know. It's like what? So this is a 7th printing. It's actually like a book club. If you look up this book, you'll often see this cover. It was printed like a million times, but it was actually, I think the copy that I have is a book club one, but it was first published in 1965. Point is, it smells like an old book, and I love it.
I love that. Are there like gilded edges there?
Oh, good eye, good eye. There are.
Oh, nice.
And the top is black.
Yeah. Okay. That's
Not
what I
the
was seeing.
bottom.
The black. Okay, interesting. I've never seen like just like one.
Yeah.
So there's deckled edges and gilded like top.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I mixed those up.
Sorry. No, I get it. Because for a second I was like, is that the right word? That's cool.
Oh, and I love when I see this. Apparently, somebody else owned this. Joan Decker. I have Joan Decker's copy.
Joan, what are you doing? You don't want that anymore?
You know what? I think I've mentioned this before. Whenever I see, especially in like for older books, in my mind, I make up the story like that Joan passed away and
Mm,
her family got rid of all of her books. Like I just make it so sad.
yeah.
I don't really know that, but
Either way, you gave it a nice home. That's all that matters.
thank you, Kristen.
Yeah, yeah. Zorf's got to go.
Oh
I'll watch the
man.
rest of it later. Thanks again for the show. So glad I could be part of it live. Take care and see you around. Well, thank you for being here. Sorry you got to
Yes.
go, but I get it. It's been an hour.
We'll see you soon, hopefully.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, I will transition to what I'm reading, but I do have to mention real quick the last thriller that I read, and this is a follow up to the show that Mary and I have already done. If you've seen that, if you haven't, check it out. But Mary told me I need to read No Exit, so I read No Exit. And if you guys need a good thriller for this time of year, it snowed here, by the way, to like this morning, so it's like the perfect snowy. People are stuck in a rest area. It's a bad time, y'all. It's a bad time, but it's such a good time. Like, it is such a page turner. You were absolutely right. I gave it 5 stars. I loved it so much. So recommend this to everyone who likes a good thriller. Check it out.
Yeah, I think it's they did it on Netflix too, right? I think it's a movie.
Is it on Netflix? I wasn't sure where it was, but now I want to watch it.
Yeah, I haven't heard like great reviews on it, but I definitely recommend reading it first.
Yeah.
Because it's I would say I'd go as far to say it's my favorite thriller.
Oh my gosh.
I know.
So now that now everything I read, you're gonna be like, what wasn't my favorite thriller?
Yeah.
Like, well.
Was it like No Exit?
Yeah.
No.
Maybe I
Sorry.
started too high at this point. Because I've only read a few, so it's like, okay.
Although
But I'm like,
now that I say that, I remember I should reread it. There's an author, Jeffrey Deaver, and I think the title is The Empty Chair. I used to say that was my favorite thriller, but that's like from so long ago when I first started reading thrillers, like back when I know everybody has feelings on James Patterson now, but I remember when I first started with thrillers, and I think as like many millions first started with James Patterson thrillers. But Jeffrey Deaver was like the popularity of Deaver's career, I think, was right around that same time. So The Empty Chair.
Nice.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go back to that. I think I
Okay.
need to find a copy of that.
I need to know what you think now.
Yeah, yeah.
That's what I think about, like, what I call my favorite Stephen King. I haven't read a ton.
Right.
But what I call my favorite Stephen King, I'm like, I should revisit that. Because, like, what if that was many years ago, you know?
Yeah, yeah. Like, do you think that maybe if you went back to it, you'd be like, oh, maybe there's stuff in it that...
Well, I feel like I may still like it, but maybe with everything else I've read, I mean, maybe it wouldn't be. I don't know.
Yeah.
Or maybe I just need to read more Stephen King and then go back to it.
Yeah, I mean,
That's
and
probably
really,
what I need to do.
My question just then too, I mean, we can read stuff and just also understand that it's from a certain time, right?
Sure. Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
If my family got rid of my books, I'd haunt them. That's funny, Hayden.
Me too. I think I'm with you on that, Hayden.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I guess it depends, right? Because, like, I'm sitting in a room that I understand has too many books in it for the average person. For my home and my life in this room, it's perfect, right?
Right.
But I don't know if something were to happen, people needed to move, I was gone. Keep some of my books, cherish some of them, but I get it, is my point.
Yeah, I'm with Hayden though. I think like if my family started or my friends started to like pack up my books as they were doing it, I would like knock them off the shelf and stuff.
That would be super fun. It would
like make sure it like hits their pinky toe like really hard, stuff like that.
This is what you get. A Stephen King reread is always a good idea. Hayden. Nice. You're right, but I also have too many Stephen King books I have not read that I'm like, I should read one I haven't read probably first.
I know where Stephen King gets you. You can't resist when you're in Target. You see all those new covers. They get you every time.
It's so true, to the point where I've avoided going down that aisle because I'm just like, I know I'm going to see something. Yeah. I got that new Misery cover because it's beautiful. There was another one. That's also where I got the A Stranger Beside Me by Anne Rule.
Yes, that's right.
There was like a new edition, and it looked nice. And I was like, well, I've never read this. I still haven't. But one day.
There you go.
one day. But hey, what I am currently reading, which I can talk about, I'm in the middle of it, so I'm really close, which is good because it was due back at the library yesterday.
Oops.
You ever do that where you're just like, well, but I'll read it within the next 2 days, so it's
Yeah.
fine. So that's what's going on here. But it's called Lightfall: The Girl and the Guldurian.
Oh.
Okay, I really like the cover. Also, there was a cat, which I didn't even notice until I started reading it.
Cute.
What? And if you know anything about me, you know that I love comics with
Oh.
cats in them. But I love the art in this. It's very,
Yeah,
very
nice.
nice. It's about this little girl who her grandpa is like a pig wizard.
Oh, as
So
one is.
as one is, he looks like a pig. She was
Cute.
adopted, she says, and she has a little cat friend. But
Wow.
she wakes up one day and there's a note from him, and he's like, "Well, I forgot to like close this ancient seal or something," and he's got like a bad memory. He's like, "Don't follow me, but if you do, wear a sweater." And like, she's like, "Oh my gosh, like I can't just leave him out there alone. I have to go find him." And this big creature she runs into, I'm gonna get a good photo of him, but he's the one on the cover.
Oh.
He's like this creature that he was searching for her grandpa anyway. So, he ends up saying, "Hey, I love helping people. I want to help you find them. I need his help anyway. Let's go on an adventure together," right? And there's just beautiful art throughout it. I'm really interested in the story and the world, and I really like the main characters. And they're going on an adventure, and there's the cat's with them the whole time. She wasn't going to leave the cat there. And look, I adore this cat, but I swear, if something happens to this cat,
Yeah.
it's a middle grade book, so I'm hoping that's not going to be on the table.
See, I was gonna say, whenever I read books and there's a cat, a dog, whatever animal,
Yeah.
I love it, but I'm constantly worrying about like something gonna happen to this pet. Like I
Yeah.
can't handle it. Like on The Walking Dead with Daryl's dog named Dog. I'm like, if something happens to Dog, I can't handle it.
I know. I know. If that's the kind of thing, and I've told people on and on, I'm like, please spoil it for me. If something happens to this animal, I want you to tell me. Or if it doesn't, tell me that too. I want to know going
Right.
in
Yep.
what I'm dealing with or what I can avoid.
Well, that's why I felt
You know?
bad with No Exit because there was something that happened. Even though you were nice and you're like, "Oh, it was quick." I forgot that happened in it. I felt bad.
It's okay because it was super brief and it was like 2 sentences on something that happened in the
Yeah.
past with this character. So it wasn't a
Yeah.
current, like,
Yeah.
it was terrible, but it's a little
Yeah.
different,
Yeah. Okay.
versus like an animal that you're on the journey with
Yeah.
or that you
Yeah.
see in real time go through something. I don't know, but yeah, I'm currently reading that. Are you currently reading anything else?
I am. I have 2 others going. So this is part of a trilogy. More prose, guys. Sorry. So this is Maureen Fry and The Angel of the North. So I have this is by Rachel Joyce. Um, Her other books were The Unlikely Pilgrimage of Harold Fry and The Love Song of Miss Queenie Hennessy, which I do have a copy of still here. This story is just a feel-good story. The first one is about Harold Fry. He basically has a sick friend that he used to work with. So it's about his pilgrimage to go and see her and visit her because she's sick. So it's about that story. And then the second book is basically from the point of view of his friend, Miss Queenie Hennessy. And then this third book that I'm currently on is Maureen Fry, who is the wife of Harold. And it's such a sweet story. It'll make you think about just everything. It just make you think about life and the journeys that you take. And it's just I'm not giving it a good description, but just trust me when I say if you want a feel good story, it makes you think about life, but not in that sort of like sad way. Just it'll make you. I think for me, it makes me appreciate my life more, and makes me think. It just makes me think about decisions I've made, and that sort of thing. Yeah, but you may know this author. This is like a foil cover, so it's a little bit harder to see.
Fancy.
This, Kristen, this is the book that I bought on Book Depository because
Oh.
it's not out in the States yet.
Oh, that one. Okay, got
Yeah,
it. Got it.
I love this author so much. She's the one that I think I recommended this book to you. The Music Shop. That's the one about.
Yeah. Okay.
She's like just really become one of my favorite modern authors. Plus, she's very sweet and likes whenever I tag her in something, she likes my posts, so that makes me smile.
Love that. Love
Yeah.
that. Well, that's fun. I like something that's like not gonna make you more sad about your life, but actually make you
Yeah.
happier about it. So that's nice. I like that.
Yeah.
I am also reading 2 other things currently.
Oh.
And by that I mean sometimes I start things and get into the middle and then start something else and forget I started that other thing, which is what this one is. It's also, I think, middle grade. It's called Suey in the Shadow. So I forget where I got this one. I want to say it was like a half price or something. It has really like stylistic art, but it is about this girl who her shadow ends up like coming to life and talking to her, and there's a whole situation with the shadow not being the best and knowing certain things and acting up, and it's just like a whole situation, right? She's 12, wears black, has no friends, and she likes it that way. That's what the back says.
I can relate to that.
Yeah. So, I'm enjoying it so far. But again, I got distracted by, I don't know, something else. So
Happens.
it happens. But I'm gonna finish it. I'm determined to finish it.
Oh.
And call me Top Guns here.
Hey
How you
there.
doing? Lovely seeing you too. Thank you. Thank you for
You as
being
well.
here. Oh, sounds a little like Anya's Ghost. That's what I was gonna say, except
Oh yeah.
you know, I liked Anya's Ghost, I think. I'm like, it's been so long, y'all. But yeah, it was a little like that. Or so far it is. Anya's Ghost. Let's see. Let's check Goodreads. What did I rate this? 4. Okay, yes, I liked it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh look, Hayden has a question about Stephen King covers.
Oh, I totally missed it. Sorry. Do you all in the US get the new Stephen King covers we have that have the rainbow spines? I don't think so.
I've never seen those, but now I might have to creep on Book
Now I
Depository.
need them. Yeah, that sounds awesome.
Yeah, that does.
I also like this comic. Keep all the gay books. Get rid of the no homo books.
There you
Okay.
go.
There we go.
Series guidelines.
It's always a good day when you stream. Thank you for saying that. Very
Aw.
nice. Very nice.
All right, Kristen, I think you're going to be very happy with. You may have seen it on Goodreads.
Yeah?
I almost didn't post it.
Oh.
Yeah, you know.
I did see it this morning. I was like, oh no, spoiler.
Yeah, but I'm like
Yeah.
you. Like, I can't even I can't think about reading a book until I put it
exactly
on
the same.
Goodreads.
Yeah.
So I finally am reading Sweet Tooth.
Yes.
Finally. And I started it late last night. When I was bragging how I was also watching YouTube, but I was reading.
But you're reading, yeah.
When I was bragging about that, I started it, and I'm already up to 152 pages. Like, I don't know why I didn't start this earlier. First off, I really had no idea what it's about, and I think that's a great way to go into this book. And I'm glad I didn't start it in the heart of the pandemic. I will just say that.
Oh my gosh, right?
Right? Like,
I reread it during the heart of the pandemic, and I was like,
wow.
Oh no, yeah.
Yeah.
It was a different kind of read then.
Definitely. But it's just like, I mean, more than me, obviously. It just feels like such a classic Jeff Lemire. Like,
absolutely.
I know. I'm talking to the right person if I want to talk about his artwork. I love his artwork. People say it's too scratchy. I disagree, and I know Kristen disagrees. I just love it. I'm just sitting here talking to you guys and like looking at it, and
yeah, it's
look.
I guess it's just
like, I mean,
it's beautiful.
It's beautiful, and does this make sense? When I'm reading a graphic novel, comic book, manga, whatever, I don't want it to look realistic. I don't. Do you know what I mean? I want it to look like
You know,
a drawing. I'm probably not using the right words, but like,
I get what you're saying because I think about like, and you know, I think you're a fan too, but people praise
uh-oh,
Alex Ross. Okay.
yes,
And I get it. Clearly,
yes,
he's very good at things, but
yeah.
I don't want that in my comics, to be
I
fair. I
understand.
don't. Yeah.
I think I do like Alex Ross a lot, but I think it's interesting you bring him up because I feel like when I look at his artwork, I feel like I'm viewing a painting.
Yeah. Well, and that's what it looks like.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So,
Hmm.
but I totally get what you mean, and I think, yeah, I that's a good comparison.
Yeah. I lean more toward the, liking the cartoony, I guess,
Mhm.
style
Yeah.
of art, you know?
Yeah, it's
So,
interesting.
but you
So,
know,
I am loving Sweet Tooth. I will
yes.
definitely finish that today.
So
Uh,
glad.
and
And you have all three hardcovers, right?
I do, and if
Beautiful.
I didn't have plans tomorrow, I think I would finish the whole thing this weekend, but I'll be gone most of the day tomorrow, so I don't think that's possible. But I definitely think the next time we talk, I will definitely have completed the whole thing. Um,
Love that.
so good, and I have no idea why I haven't gotten to it sooner.
I love that. Well, I love that feeling too, right? Because you're like, "Oh, man, I should have finished this," but then it's like, "No, now you get to, like, experience it for the first
Right.
time, and you finally picked it up," you know? Um, Hayden says that I think they're called the Ultimate Storyteller editions. We're gonna have to look
Oh,
those up now,
okay.
the Stephen King books. Hasn't read Jane Eyre, Alex Ross slander, you're breaking my heart. Listen, I didn't say he was bad. I just was like, here's a comparison of my personal preferences, right? Like he's great, clearly, but I just prefer like art like this or like Lemire, you know?
It's so Hayden, it's so funny. I actually used your almost your exact words the other day at work. Somebody at work told me that they didn't like the worst combination. This is doesn't have to do with books. The worst combination. Ready? This is going to floor some of you if you're into
Uh-oh.
this combination as much as I am. Peanut butter and chocolate.
Oh,
My coworker said, and then I told her she broke my heart, and she kept going. She kept talking about it. Is that horrible?
why would you not? Who doesn't?
I don't know. I
Who
don't
doesn't
know.
like a Reese's? What are we doing here?
I don't know, broke my heart, but
Uh,
the way Hayden worded that made me think of it. I'm still not over it, apparently.
I mean, again, I don't hate Alex Ross. I was just making a comparison of I prefer Jeff Lemire art to Alex Ross art.
Yeah, yeah.
And most people will be like, what's happening here? Just what I like. I don't know.
Oh man.
Speaking of different art, this is my other book I have going. This is what I got on my trip. I was so excited to see it because it's one of those books that came out. I obviously adored the title and the cover. And it is a series of like little comics about this person's life. And I'd put it in my cart, I don't know how many times. And then I found it at a half price books in Chicago. And I was like, this is the best. And it was like $5, which was
Nice.
more than half off. And I'm like, okay, I have to get this. And that's Ruining Your Cat's Life by Lauren Barnett. Guys.
That cover.
And she has such a like interesting art style. It's very like looks like colored pencils
Oh
and
yeah.
kind of sketchy, kind of notebooky kind of art, for lack of a better way to put it. Um, and it's just fun little like things about Lauren's life. And I love comics like that too. And there's a lot of cat things in here, and you know I love that. But I was
Yeah.
so excited to find it, and I started to read. I'm barely in it, but I'm really enjoying it so far. And this
Nice.
is one I definitely intend to finish this weekend.
That was a good find.
I know. So I was like, "What is this perfect for me? $5? No one else has bought it? Yeah, I'm buying it right now."
So you know around here we don't have half price books. And
Not
so
around where I'm at either.
so jealous.
Yeah, I have to
Oh,
travel for it.
you have Second and Charles, that's
That's
right.
right. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm jealous of that too.
Yeah.
But I was gonna ask how that store you went to in Chicago, how that was in comparison to other ones you've been to. Are they all kind of the same inside? Or are they
For half price books, they're the same. It really just depends on like, you know, it's a trade-in store. So it depends
okay,
on
okay.
who's traded something in and like
Yeah.
as far as what they have. But we did find a lot in the Chicago ones that were more like I feel like comic wise geared to what we like.
Oh, cool.
You know, like this is a smaller publisher.
Yeah.
So to find that there, I feel like it's, you know, it's a bigger city.
Yeah.
There a lot of cartoonists come from Chicago.
Oh,
They
cool.
have, you know, a wider variety of like smaller publishers in stores and things like that. So that was cool. I feel like we found a lot of people who brought in their smaller comics collection and were like, yeah, we'll take that home.
Nice.
That we definitely wouldn't find in like Indianapolis or St. Louis or something, a
Okay.
different one we've been to, you know? So that was
Yeah.
cool.
That is cool.
Otherwise, like the layout and everything and what they generally have is the same,
Right.
except depending on who trades something in for the used stuff, you know?
Right. Right. Cool. Maybe someday they'll open one near me. I mean, I even have to struggle to get myself. I mean, I'm being dramatic, but to get to an Ollie's is like, I kind of
Yeah.
have to wait until I like go visit my mom, and then even so, when I visit her, it's like still 45-minute drive to get to the Ollie's. So
Do you know where your closest half price is? Like, have you checked?
I've checked. I haven't checked Half Price. I've checked Second and Charles, and that one's
Okay.
like,
Those are
I
so like sporadic. Second and
yeah.
Charles doesn't make any sense. I'm gonna check your half price.
Okay, thank you. I I think for Second and Charles, the closest one to me is probably somewhere in Pennsylvania,
Okay.
or maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's either Delaware or Pennsylvania. I have looked that up. Every once in a while, I'll check to see if like maybe a new one has opened, but
Hmm.
it's always a disappointment. I'm like, nope. Oh, there's new stores opening, but not around here,
Yeah, that's a bummer.
which is weird because the population. I mean, I just feel like it's like overcrowded here. So
Yeah, I feel like you all may have like just more used book places, I would think, you
like
know, where you're at.
I get. Oh,
At least in NYC, right?
yeah, that's true, but it's more. Yeah, I don't know. I'm drawing a blank. But well, there's a lot of bookstores obviously in New York City, but I wouldn't say that you're getting any kind of like great deal on used books though.
Yeah, that's a bummer.
Although I did go to it's a bad thing because where where I work now, I mean, we've been there since I don't know, maybe half a year now, but it's still new in the sense because at first when we went back, from working remotely, we moved into a new office basically, but we were only going 2 days a week. So at that point, it was like, you didn't have a lot of time to wander because you felt like when you're in the office, you should really be like getting as much done as you can. But now, since we've been up to 3 days a week, getting a little more adventurous, like, got all my work done. I think I'm going to really take a lunch today and see if I can find a used bookstore. So I did
Yeah.
find, what was the one called? Let me grab my phone. Hold on. Argos, I believe it was. So I did find that bookstore they have like a lot of rare books inside, but outside they had a decent amount of shelves where all of the used books were like $3 a piece, and then they had a nice selection of like coffee table books that were only like 10. So I guess that was a pretty good deal, you know.
Yeah.
I'm just checking to see. I'm sorry, it's Argosy. I'm probably saying it wrong. Um, but yeah, it was pretty cool. I mean, they had like, uh, did I tell you what I bought in there? I don't
I
know
don't
if I
I don't know.
I
Tell
don't
us
know if
all.
I don't know if I admitted it to you. I had been eyeing this book. I found it. I just did like I ended up doing some search. It was an Anthony Trollope um, book, but it's basically the first time Anthony Trollope appeared in the United States in a publication. It's from 1860. It was
Oh
like
wow.
my first rare book that I ever purchased, and I didn't like break the bank, but it was more than I've ever spent on a book, but less than an Omni. So you know what? I just thought of that.
There you
Let me
go.
let me talk in comic terms. It was less
There
than
you
an
go.
Omni would be.
Okay.
So that makes me
Do you want to
so
admit the
okay.
price?
All right. I mean, we're all friends here, right?
Yeah, yeah, no judgment.
I don't know why I'm acting so like squirrely about it. It was $60. I, I
Okay.
I mean,
It was a book you really wanted.
and I just think it was. I'm not going to go down like the rare book rabbit hole,
Right,
but it
right.
was it was such a cool thing. Like I had been on the website and I was just like searching like authors I like, and then I came across this. I'm like, what's this? And when I realized the significance of it, I was like, that's so cool.
That's super
So
cool. And you love Trollope, so I
I
think it's a great
do,
purchase.
and I just like this book is like old. I'm almost
Yeah.
a little afraid to touch it.
Yeah. That's funny. Chris's secretarial is in Wilmington,
That makes
Delaware.
sense. Okay.
Okay.
That rings a bell for sure.
I bet that's still a drive for you, right?
Yeah, that might. I mean, it's probably a 2-hour drive, maybe.
Oh, that's not too bad.
Yeah.
I spent more than that on a single book, so that's fine. Yeah, that's. I feel like
Thank
we've all
you.
been there. Yeah.
Thank you, Hayden. Um,
All right. I
the-
guess we're to what we want to read,
oh,
right?
that's the larger pile.
It really is. It really is. I'm with you. There's too many things I want to read, and I think maybe I need help narrowing it down. So maybe I don't know if you need that help. You know, but maybe you could help me.
I do have a scenario in my pile that I'm going to ask for your opinion.
Okay.
Because
Okay.
it's three. I'll say 3 like-minded books that I want.
Do we
you
want to
be
start there?
Oh, you want me to go? We could.
I mean, we could.
Okay.
I'm interested now.
All right, let me.
The people want to
hang on.
know.
I have to move my props around.
Oh,
All
Chris
right.
is agreeing. Same Hayden like 3 times that. There you go.
Thank you. I appreciate all the support. All right. This is my book of the month.
Oh, I see. I see. There it goes.
Okay. I went hog wild with book of the month with my selections. You can only buy. I know everyone's probably like, guys, we get it. We know how book of the month works, but just let us have our fun. All right. So the bookmark is very cute.
Yeah. Oh, that is very cute.
If you were a book, you'd be a classic.
Nice.
Anyway, so I have 3 thrillers here. There's definitely a theme. I don't know where to start. So I just feel like I can't go wrong because these are 3 thrillers that I definitely am interested in, obviously. They're probably 3 thrillers I could have borrowed from the library, but that's not what we do here all the time.
No, it's not the point. Yeah.
It's not the point.
We got to buy stuff.
All right. So we have The Last Party by Claire McIntosh. Okay. That's book 1.
What's that little blurb on the front? Can you read that?
I was going to.
Oh, thank you.
At midnight, one of them is dead. By morning, all of them are suspects.
Oh, okay.
But wait, ready for this on the back. It's the party. I don't know why I'm laughing. It's the party to end all parties, but not everyone is here to celebrate.
Nice. Okay, nice.
So it's like, you could tell by the cover, there's like a house. They probably all go to the house.
It is the last party for someone.
It's the last one for someone.
Yeah.
So that's that one.
Okay.
Then we have Ruth Ware, the It Girl. Or sometimes I giggle. I'm like, wouldn't it be funny if it was like really the IT girl?
IT girl.
It was like the IT girl in the office goes, woo, what happens to her?
That's so funny.
So Ruth Ware, I've read a lot of her books and I tend to like her. So I actually know very little about this book because I just bought it because I liked her others. I definitely need my glasses to read some of this for you. Let's see. This came out a couple months ago, right? I think we were.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, because it was an add-on, right?
Yeah.
We were book of the month.
We were a little sensitive about that. We wanted it to be one of our picks. We didn't want it to be an add-on. We did not know why they did it that way, but I let go of my anger and I still picked it. So
yeah, there you go. It worked out.
Vivacious, bright, occasionally vicious, and the ultimate it girl, she quickly pulled Hannah into her dazzling orbit. Together, they cultivated a group of devoted and inseparable friends, Will, Hugh, Ryan, and Emily, during their first term. By the end of the year, April was dead.
Oh.
But I assume, it would help if I read the first sentence. I'm like, where are they? Who are these people? Where did they meet? April Clark Cliveden was the first person Hannah Jones met at Oxford. They're at Oxford. So this is like apparently like at a college. And so now a decade later, Hannah and Will are expecting their first child. Well, way to spoil things. Now we know they got together and had a kid.
Yeah, wow.
And the man convicted of killing April, former Oxford porter John Neville, has died in prison. Don't you feel like they're revealing a lot? I'm
I
going to
feel like
stop
they
there.
are. Yeah, yeah.
All right,
Well,
Ruth Ware.
and I gotta say, I actually didn't even read the back of No Exit, and there's only like a few sentences, but
Yeah,
it was really better that I didn't.
it spoiled something, right?
Yeah. I don't even want to say it for anybody watching, you know? I'll tell you after, but they
All right.
totally did. And I'm like, wait, had I known this in advance,
Yeah,
I don't think I would have. Well, it just would have not have been as exciting, like, right?
exactly. Yeah, so now, like, I know somebody died. I know there was a kid had. I don't know.
Yeah.
All right, I won't.
Well, you all remember it anyway, right? It's
Yeah, I'll
fine.
probably forget, and I'm
Yeah.
probably not going to read it for a couple months. Uh, and the third one is Alice Feeney's latest, Daisy Darker, which I keep
Okay.
wanting to say Parker.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see if I can sort of not spoil anything if
Did a
anyone
girl
really
die or
cares.
something?
Right. After after years of avoiding one another, Daisy Darker's entire family is assembling for a Nana's 80th birthday party in Nana's crumbling Gothic house on a tiny tidal island. They're finally back together one last time, and when the tide comes in, they will be cut off from the rest of the world for 8 hours.
Mm.
All right. So basically
Okay.
they're trapped on an island. Oh, and someone's killing them one by one.
Oh, of course.
So they have to figure out. So there's a very common theme in all these.
Murder.
Yeah, murder. And it says here, with a wicked wink to Agatha Christie's And Then There Were None, Daisy Darker's unforgettable twist will leave readers reeling.
Oh.
We'll see about that.
Yeah, well, you'll be the judge of that.
So what do you think of those three?
You know, I had one in mind, and then you read that whole, oh, the twist will have everybody reeling. But you know, I feel like every thriller
Is going to say that,
probably
right?
promises that, right?
Right.
I think I'm gonna go with The Last Party.
You know, I'm glad you said that because that's the one I mean, this was the one of the
The
one of the 5 that
yeah,
we could pick, right? And I was the
right.
most interested in that one, and then the other 2, I was just being greedy and wanted to have add-ons to toss in the box for. Oh, let's talk about how they upped. Did we talk about this last time where add-ons used to be $9.99 and now
Oh my
they
gosh.
upped them to $10.99? All right.
Yeah, like I know it's $1, y'all, but
It's like the Dollar Tree, like you said. Now the
$1.25 tree. What are we
$1.25
doing?
tree. Call it what it is.
I know they need to change it.
So, okay, so you picked The Last Party.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with that one.
I like that answer.
Okay, good deal. Good deal.
Cool.
All right, so I'm looking at okay. 1 second. Here we go. Hayden says all his books sound so damn good. And I need to hold off on getting them because I just wasted a ridiculous amount of money on a 1/1 scalar good guy doll replica. Well, I feel like everyone's been there, right, Hayden? It's okay.
Well,
Write them down.
the good thing is Hayden will tell you, like, I'll tell you as I read them
Yeah,
how they are.
if it's
Maybe,
worth it.
yeah, maybe it'll be more of a library borrow or maybe worth a purchase. We'll see.
Absolutely. So, I picked up. I went to this store that had like a lot of like Japanese stationery and a ton of manga and things like that in Chicago. It was lovely, loved it. So I couldn't help myself. I had to buy some manga, and I got 3 that have a similar theme. So I'm gonna throw this one to you. Which one should I read first? Okay.
Cool.
First off, we have The Evil Secret Society of Cats.
Oh man.
Also, there's nothing racy in there. They were just all in plastic for some reason. Because I know
Imagine,
that manga, right? Yeah. So we will teach humans to fear the feline race. They may seem cute and cuddly, but these kittens are up to no good. Under the direction of the purple-caped feline commander, the evil secret society of cats schemes, this is hard to read, against humanity in a series of humorous stories, as adorable as they are diabolical. After all, the complex nature of cats is part of their charm. It just looks really funny. And come on, cats. Okay. Then I picked up Yakuza Stray Kitten, which is about...
Oh.
a guy who's ex yakuza who is a boss, takes an adorable kitten. After being abandoned in the cold rain, tiny kitten Sabu should have been grateful to find a new home. But when he's rescued by Jin, whose every atom screams yakuza, Sabu suspects he's out of the frying pan and into the fire. Yet Jin's
Uh-oh.
scarred hands and face hide a sweet man beneath, a man who pampers kitties with baths and bottle feedings. Y'all.
Oh, what a guy.
I mean, what a guy, right? Just seems very cute. And this is by the same author as the Secret Evil Society, but it's yokai cats, which is not evil, I guess. Apparently, one has a neck that can stretch to steal food off the counter. Another looks like a wall big enough to block a road, but it's still warm and fluffy. And that's just the start. Get ready to be surprised and delighted by the daily lives of these supernatural felines and their humans.
Interesting.
So, I just got a lot of cat manga.
I mean, this is what you do.
Know? That's what I do. I had to.
By the way, I can appreciate them being wrapped in plastic because
Me too.
There's nothing more aggravating when you're like, oh, I'm going to treat myself to a new book.
Yeah.
And the cover's jacked up and bent and stuff or scratched because all the animals in the store don't know how to treat books.
Absolutely.
I can appreciate. I do understand why you'd like to clarify that there's nothing naughty going on in these books, though.
Right. Because it's not usual.
Right.
Yeah,
sometimes
it's not usual
naughty books are wrapped. Right.
Right. Yeah, they often are. But this place, just everything is wrapped, which I kind of loved. Yeah, I don't want like gross hands all over my books and have to worry about people bending covers and stuff, you know? So, that's nice.
I have I know which one I want you to go with.
Okay, I feel like I do too.
I know you know me. I want you to go, I want to know more about the evil cats.
Okay, yeah. The evil cats.
Yeah.
I think we need to know more about the evil cats. Maybe I should even open this. Should I do a live unboxing?
Unboxing.
I think it's in color, which is exciting.
Oh, that's cool.
It looks like it is, at least the pages. Let's see here. Is that loud? Oh, it is. How cute.
Oh, nice.
Love that. So that's very exciting. We're gonna do that. I'm reading this tonight.
All right. So maybe I'll start the last party tonight as well.
There you go. Look at us. Look at us getting reading done.
I think the plan will be Sweet Tooth and then Last Party.
Nice. Love that. Love that. Well, did you have more you wanted to go through, or?
I do. I mean, unless you
okay.
Is your schedule?
Oh no, I had more. So I was just like, well, I won't show them unless you had more.
Oh no, I definitely, I overachieve with this stuff.
Yeah, same.
It's good to be optimistic about the upcoming reading week.
Right.
So I think I mentioned on our last live stream that this was a book I wanted to get to before the end of the year. I've moved it up on the list and I'd like to do it next week.
Oh, nice.
So it is your guy.
Black Paradox, yes.
I don't know what's taken, I say this all the time. I don't know what the holdup is because I had to buy this right away when it came out.
Right.
You know the deal. So I think I just want to finally get to this week, and I'm in the mood for a little horror. And you give it good reviews, and it's Ito, so why wouldn't I?
I think it's a great pick. It's also not long, so I think you'll feel nice and accomplished, and you'll get a full story. It's a good choice. Good choice.
Yes. Thank you.
Let's see. Do you have a certain amount left?
1, 2. I have 4 left.
Okay.
And 1 comes with an additional prop.
Love that. Okay. So I did grab one of my cozies. I did get quite a few cozies, as I told you, during my trip, because I just find them so cheap, and the covers get me every single time.
Of course.
I love a good cat cover. And most cozy, well, not most, well, I mean, maybe most don't actually have cats involved. There's just cats on the cover for some reason. And this is one of them, but sometimes I still can't not pick it up. Because I'm still like, okay, you got me with the story. I read the back, But this cover just got me good. And I was like, I don't even care what this is about. I have to get it. And maybe that's stupid on my part, but it's called A Matter of Hive and Death.
Uh-oh.
And under it says sleuthing gives her a buzz. And this cat has knocked over a
Oh
beekeeping
no.
thing. Okay. And is
That's not good.
swatting at a bee. It got me so good. I was like, this is perfect. I love it so much. And on the back, there's mentions of a UFO festival.
Oh my gosh.
I know, and there's bees involved, of course. There's an officer investigating everything. And there's a bee wrangler. Oh, okay. The bee wrangler was killed. That's what it is.
Uh-oh.
That's why it has to do with bees. But then it does say on the back, don't miss the first Oregon honeybee mystery. Listen, I'm just going to jump in with this one. I don't know what number it is.
You know how
Just,
I feel about that. It's like, I'm
just
pretty
gonna
sure
do
you
it.
could figure it out, right?
Yeah. Plus, I
I
think cozies are meant for that. You just
Yeah.
jump in wherever you can. So,
You
and
never
then,
know. They have so many cozies on Hoopla too. Like you might even
true.
be able to find the first one if you care to, you know.
That's true. So I guess this is the second, but I just couldn't.
It's
I
cute.
couldn't not. Look at that.
Yeah.
Look at the SWAT and the bee. So I need to read these. I need to read some cozies. So that's on my list.
I recently saw, I don't know why, but on Instagram there's like, I was like going through reels and there was like a beekeeper or whatever, and she just moved all these bees like with her bare mitts and just
Oh,
I'm like, how do you not
her
get
bear?
stung? Yeah. And
Yeah,
she's
that's a
like,
lot.
I move these bees, I'm like, I gotta go. I gotta keep
I
going. I
gotta
gotta
go.
keep going. I
Mhm.
mean, you know,
That's a lot.
save the bees, love honey and all that, but I'm like terrified of insects.
Yeah, it's
So
too much.
sorry. That was a little sidebar about your after hearing about your bee cozy. All right, this is the classic that I mentioned that I almost bought again. And this is by Mary Shelley, of course, Frankenstein.
Nice.
Um, but this is the 1818 text. So apparently it's the original.
Mm.
Um, so I most likely was, I don't know what I was scrolling around on, and I was like, oh, there's an original text. I don't know if I knew that. So I left the
Interesting.
office. Yes. I left the office. I found there's like a Barnes and Noble that was like a 15-minute walk from our office. So I was like, oh, let me go. I've never been to that exact location. And I had it in my hand, but it was the one I picked up was a Penguin Classic. And this is
Nice.
an Oxford World's Classics. So I already own it though. I I didn't know I own like I knew I have another copy of Frankenstein, but not the 1818 text. But I almost bought it again because I didn't know I had this nice, fresh, clean copy sitting on
Mm.
my shelf. Lesson learned. But I feel like I've fallen off the classic bandwagon a little bit, and I just something I like to do. I enjoy doing so. I thought this might be a good one to get back into it a little bit.
Good deal.
Yeah.
You have to let me know how different that is.
Right? Well, that would
If you
mean
can
I'd have to read the other Frankenstein right after it, but it sounds doable.
That's true. That's true. Have you ever like read it?
Long time ago.
Okay, yeah. And I've
Yeah.
read it a long time ago, so I wouldn't
Yeah.
remember. Yeah,
I
you're
know.
right.
Exactly.
Okay. So again, I'm just gonna keep bringing up Chicago stuff, but there was an amazing record store that had a bookstore in it
Cool.
in Chicago. We went to. It was called Bucket of Blood, Bucket O Blood
Hmm.
Records. Got a little cute bookmark from them.
Cute.
Um, Reed really wanted to go because they're known for like punk records, and they have stuff that he really liked. So he went right to the vinyl, which I also love, but I went right to the books because they had such like specific sections for books.
Oh,
Like the
I like that.
genres were broken down so much. Like horror had very specific horror sections,
Right.
like translated horror. Like
Nice.
I think there was one that was like really intense horror. So like I was like, okay, I'm gonna avoid that. Like, just
Yeah.
like certain things. And then they had a whole LGBT section that was split up between genres,
Wow.
which was super cool too. So I went to the horror genre of the LGBT section and I was
Ah,
looking through everything. And there's a lot of books that I've read, like the great graphic novels in there that I adored. And I was like, man, this place rules. Also
yeah.
found Reed's Hardcore Anxiety on the shelf. So that was
Get out.
very, very cool to see. Yeah.
That's so
So
cool.
super neat to see that. But I, I think I've told you, Eric LaRocca wrote
Mhm.
a novella that I read a year or two ago called Things Are Things have gotten worse since we last spoke. I think that's what it's called. Um, very popular for good reason. It was just bonkers. It was bonkers, but it was, again, I think I mentioned it last time, but I was the only book I think I've ever like purchased, went home, sat down, read the whole thing.
Love that.
It's novella, so it wasn't like too hard, but
Right.
it was just like there's something about it. So I picked this book up in that section. It's not by Eric Roca, but it's a novella. It's horror. And I read the back, and the cover looks like something like his books. You know,
Okay.
it has like an intense cover. It is intense, so watch out. But
Oh boy.
with like a
Wow.
mouth coming, yes, it's called Dirty Heads by Aaron Dries. But I read
Wow.
the back, and it sounds so good. And there's so much on the back. I don't even know that I want to read it all. So if it looks like anything that you're interested in, but I'll read the first part. The story of a boy who dreamed of becoming a man, but dreamed up a monster instead. And there's more from there. But I read it, and I was like, this sounds so good. So I picked it up because of those reasons, and it's a novella, so it wasn't that expensive either. But when I brought it to the front, the cashier was like, "Oh my gosh!" She's like, "I just read this book. I
Oh wow.
loved it. I immediately made him read it. Like the other guy was there. She's like, I immediately made him read it. He loved it. Like, and I was like, okay, like, so that really makes me want to read it even more now
That's
that
cool.
I just picked it up and everybody's like, "This is great." So it's a grotesque cover. I won't show it again, but I think I want to read it soon. And it's a novella, so what is it, like 140 pages?
Oh, I love that.
I love a good novella, right?
I feel like Hayden's gonna say he wants to read that now.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Hayden.
I think he's gonna bite for that. Yeah.
I can send you the back description later if you want, Hayden. It's just kind of long.
Nice. All right, my next one is, as I see, I never took off the price tag. I'm probably afraid to try to, but it's from Ollie's, our friends at Ollie's. It was only
Mhm.
$2.99. So this is a classic, but in graphic novel form.
Oh,
So
okay.
The Hound of the Baskervilles. I'm a Sherlock Holmes person. Art looks pretty cool in it. You can see there. So I've read this book, obviously, but I've never read the graphic novel. And for $2.99, I couldn't resist.
That's a great deal.
Yeah. And apparently it's called, who puts this out? Canterbury Classics. So I think they do a handful. They're calling them Dark Tales for some reason.
Okay.
But I think they put out a bunch of classics. I'm trying to think. I feel like I saw, not at Ollie's, but I feel like I've seen them online, but now I'm drawing a blank on the other classics that they put out. But again, Sue's Book Nook read this. So when I saw it at Ollie's, I scooped it up. She's a huge Sherlock Holmes fan. So yeah, so I just was curious. $3. I'm all in.
Awesome. Love that.
Yeah. Yeah. So put in the wrong pile.
I've got too many going on too.
I'm trying to keep my pile straight so that when I send you my list of books that I talked about, things make a little more sense.
I should have done that for my own self.
Well, actually, it doesn't really matter because we just want to like jot down books that we mentioned in case anyone's interested in them.
Sure.
I guess they don't need to know if we read them yet or not.
True. Fair.
Right?
Totally. My next book, I just got this from the library and I'm so excited for it. And when you see it, you're going to be so excited for it because we've both read, I know I've read all three before this one, and I feel like you've read all three before this one.
Oh boy, what's this?
And that's Enemies.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Which is, I forget what the series is called. Something middle school, something. I forget what she calls it, but I can't think of the middle school's name, but you know what I'm talking about.
Yes.
Awkward, Brave, and Crush were the three before this.
Yes.
Loved every single one. They were so great. And now Enemies came out, and I just want this to keep going. I love how each book, like, you see the characters from the previous book too.
Right, right.
And they're so good. They're just so good. I love the art in them. The characters are always such like a joy. It's just a great like middle grade series. It's fantastic.
I wonder, do you think that they'll go through the whole alphabet? You know how each title is a letter? Like, do you,
yeah.
I wonder if they'll go through the whole alphabet. That's
Well,
a lot of pressure.
I guess they skipped D though. Awkward,
sorry.
brave, crush, enemies.
I missed that.
Yeah. That would have been good though. They should have been thinking about that.
Yeah, wait a minute. What? It's
I don't
very
know.
early in the alphabet. I mean, there are a
Yeah.
lot of D words. I mean, come on.
Like detention or I don't know. I guess that doesn't go with the theme, but yeah, they could have
Anyway.
thought of something there, I think. But anyway, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. We get a whole new
that's
cast of
awesome.
characters, see some of the old ones that we love. Yeah. So that'll be fun.
Very cool. Okay, this next book is I picked this up at Barnes & Noble this week. It's a book of essays about it's an author that we had our own conversation about her. You mentioned that she has a very cool bookstore. She owns a bookstore.
Oh yeah.
And I've never read Ann Patchett before. So this is a collection of essays. I mean, look at the dog on the cover.
So cute.
Aw.
So cute.
So this is a collection of essays, and I figured this would be a good starting point. And I don't know if this is one I'll read straight through. Like maybe I'll read an essay or two a day. But this is good for like reading before bed or reading on the train. You know, I feel like it's the equivalent of like reading a short story collection. You know, you might read one at a time, two at a time, but not necessarily something you have to go through the whole book on, right? So
absolutely.
I'll let you know how it goes. But I can't get over this cover. I have to say, the cover is what drew me in. And then I'm like, whose book is this? And then when I realized it was her, I'm like, oh, I've always wanted to check out her work. So
nice.
But this is the one that comes with a prop, because while I was pulling my books for today, so I had always heard on, people talk about, oh, they order from like, a website like Book Outlet or like Hamilton Book, and they'll accidentally get sent a signed edition. And that had never happened to me until this time. This book I'm going to show, also by Ann Patchett, but this is a very popular book, The Dutch House.
Oh, nice.
So this came signed.
It's like a new one too, right? A newer one.
Yeah, I think it's maybe, let's see when this one came out. I was shocked. And not only was I shocked because it was signed, it didn't come. Listen, I'm sure everyone that works at Book Outlet, they're very nice people. No judgment on anyone's character who works there. I'm sure they're very nice, good people, solid people. But sometimes when you order from Book Outlet, even though they're like, oh yeah, they were like highlighting that they bought new boxes or something. Remember? Like, I think it says on the box, like new boxes, like,
right.
Okay, guys, let's all relax. But you order their stuff and it comes like jacked up, like holes in the boxes, like books just that have been through hell and back. But this thing came like perfect and
it looks
signed.
nice. Yeah.
So I say thank you to that. But sorry, I was finding out when this came out. 2019.
Okay.
So fairly.
Yeah.
Can
you show me that signature?
Look at this.
You're like, yeah, absolutely. That's a good signature.
Pretty nice.
Yeah.
I mean,
sometimes they're just scribbles, and I'm like, okay.
Yeah. I mean, it's all she has like nice handwriting, but she had a line to draw, and I think that helps. I mean, a line to sign on. And then I heard that Tom Hanks does the audiobook. And I heard he does a good job on it. So
that's cool.
Yeah, a little sidebar, little side story.
Like
yeah. Okay. So I'm not claiming that I'm going to read both books, by the way.
Oh, we're not claiming we're reading any of these, really, right?
Yeah, so I thought, but it would be a good
we hope to.
A good little story to share.
Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah.
This is one that I have checked out at the library before, maybe multiple times.
Okay.
And I've still not read it. In fact, when I got it, I think they first ordered it, and it looks so nice. Now it's all beat up. I just got this from the library last night.
Oh, wow.
But it's by Josh Malerman, who wrote Bird Box, A House at the Bottom of a Lake.
Oh, I heard about that.
This is a novella. Yeah. I actually just got it again because I was like, well, I checked it out before. I'd never read it. And I was watching a Books and Lala video, who I adore.
Cool. Yes.
And she was talking about things that, like, I think maybe just horror books she recommends, and this is like one of her favorites. So
nice.
I was like, okay, I need to get it again and actually maybe read it.
Yeah.
So, and I love the trend of horror novellas but I still haven't read enough of them. Like, I loved that Eric LaRocca, so I'm like, okay, if you can give me more that are
Right.
short and I can
Yeah.
jump in and out and have a nice time, I'm hoping for that here.
Yeah, and I would think that a horror novella, like, I would think for a big draw would be that. I mean, talk about an escape from life, right? Like,
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
scare yourself a little bit, you just
Mhm.
it's a good distraction, I would think. I might have to dip into those.
You should, you should.
All right, so my last one I have in the pile here, is a reread, and we both said we were going to reread it around this season, and I don't think you did yet. But again, I don't know what the holdup is.
Yeah.
Pumpkinheads!
You know what? I haven't yet, but, I'm gonna
Oh,
add it to my list because you're right.
I was looking
It
at
has
this
to
on the
happen.
shelf. I'm like, it's just such a feel good, like.
It so is. I'm truly writing this down right now. I'm like, "Let's go read this."
Um, I know. This book has been talked about to death, but, like, I keep using the word, I keep saying feel good, but it is. And
Yeah,
we go from horror to feel good here. So,
that's right. And I'm ending it with feel good as well.
right? I mean,
So
it's just, yeah,
that's the
no-brainer.
perfect read. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna reread that. But I think I'm gonna end this on two
Okay.
books I just got from the library, well, very recently, and they're both for the season as well.
Okay.
And by that I mean the Christmas season because we're
Oh,
already in there. It snowed today, so
it is so crazy that it snowed there. And then,
I
like I
know.
told you, we have the air conditioning on because it's 68 degrees.
And it's like 30 something outside right now here.
That's why I'm in a sweatshirt because it's like
Yeah.
nice and like cool and because of the
Yeah.
AC though.
And I'm not. Yeah. That's funny. These are both romances. Look, y'all, here's the deal.
Yeah.
I don't know how much y'all have heard me talk about this. I've never, I don't think till this year, actually, jumped into romances in any kind. I've always been like, I mean, look, live your life if that's what you're into. I just never seemed like something that was appealing to me. But then I forget who recommended something to me, but I started reading, I think it was actually Jessica Ashcraft, and who you all have seen in the chat sometimes.
Yeah, Jessica's
Um,
great.
yeah, Jessica rules, but I feel like, she'd recommended me several different books, or I'd seen her reading some maybe, and then I just picked one up and I was like, okay, why am I into this? Then I picked another one up and I'm like, why am I into this? So there was a trend. And this is not one that I believe she's read. Oh, but
Okay.
also, of course, I must mention again, which just happens to be near me, Delilah Green Doesn't Care, which is my favorite read of the year. Okay, it
Right.
still is. I plan to reread it. The other one's coming out. I'm in a pickle. P.S. Let's talk about this. The second book in the series comes out the end of this month, toward the
Okay.
end of it, the 20 something. Okay, which is soon. We're in the teens. And I want to reread this before that comes out, which is a problem because I haven't. But I also want to get that the day it comes out, okay? Put it on hold at the library. I didn't get the first hold, so I'm second. That's not going to work out for me, okay?
Yeah, we can't have
Two,
this.
we can't
Yeah.
have that. The author is doing a signing in Nashville,
Uh-oh.
but it's on like a Tuesday,
Take off
okay?
work. You gotta go.
So I'm tempted. I don't know if I will, but I'm tempted, okay? Because 3, if I don't go to that signing, I can pre-order a signed copy,
Mm.
but it's still gonna get here later.
Okay.
But I haven't read it yet.
I have your answers.
Okay, tell me.
They're gonna be completely irresponsible.
Yeah.
Okay, I think you push aside everything we talked about today and
Yeah.
you start rereading that. That has to happen first. Regardless of what
Right.
happens if you go to the signing, if you don't.
You're right.
Step 1,
You're right.
you have to reread that first. You don't
You're
have to
right.
do anything, but you get what I'm saying. So, listen, I've purchased this. Makes me think of when My Favorite Murder first put out their book. Remember, I bought like all these editions because
Yeah.
I was, I wanted to sign one. Then they released another one that was that had extra material. And then remember, I
Mhm.
bought another one because I found it at a library book sale.
Yeah.
But this isn't about me. This is about you. So I say you have to go to the signing. You You have to. Can you work it out with work, you think?
I don't know.
Okay.
I can look into it. And the only reason I don't know is because listen, y'all. I I very much like my job, which is not something I'm even used to saying in my life, okay? But the one thing I don't love is we have to use our PTO for holidays.
Oh, I remember this.
Yeah, so Thanksgiving and the next day, I already have to use PTO for. So I don't know if I'm going to have enough. But I'm going to look into it. I haven't ruled it out. I'm going to look into it. Because how great would it be? I could get my Delilah Green signed. I can get the new one.
That's it.
You know?
So wait, so you're thinking when the new one comes out, wait, the signing, I'm confused. Is the signing the day of the release of the new book so you could walk out of there with it?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, if you don't go to the signing, I say you walk yourself into whatever local bookstore, you buy it the day it comes out. And if it's not signed, then you can order yourself a signed one.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking I may have to do.
It's all right.
Yeah.
Reed
Yeah.
will buy one of those for you.
Maybe he will. I'll ask him.
Be like, Reed, can you pre-order the signed one for me? But yeah, I'm
Yeah.
gonna buy my own copy the day it comes out. Thanks. He'll do it.
Yeah, I haven't pre-ordered the signed one yet because I'm like, well, if I'm going to be there, but I
Yeah.
don't know. At this point, I'm not sure I can work it out. But I want a signed one. So
I know.
PTO for holidays, that sucks. Thanks, Chris. I know. It doesn't make sense.
I don't even know if I fully understand it. You've explained it to
Yeah.
me.
Let's talk about it. We've only been here 2 hours. Let's talk about it.
Basically, we do these live streams so that we can hang out. And it's just,
Yeah.
right? And
Yeah,
it's just
that's it,
awesome
yeah.
that others join
Thank you
us.
for being here, everyone. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like people joining is like the icing on the cake.
Yeah, exactly. What do you not understand? You need to talk about it?
Yeah. I don't understand how you have to use. First off, I don't even know I feel like everybody started using PTO and they didn't tell me that that's what
That's what we call it.
pay time off.
Yeah.
One day it just happened and I'm like, PTA? Parent teacher. No, that's
yeah.
not it. Anyway, sorry. But I don't understand because I just think like you have certain like at my company, we have company holidays. Those are like 7 or 8 days that you have off.
Mhm.
And then your pay time off, depending on if it's vacation, sick time, whatever, that is like accrued, like you earn that.
Right.
So I guess I just don't understand like why this happens to you.
we accrue the PTO per pay period. Okay.
Okay.
And we call it PTO because we don't have sick time and we don't have vacation time. We just have PTO.
Oh, okay.
So if we're ever sick, we have to use that. If we're ever on vacation, we have to use that. There's no distinguishing, which I kind of like. I kind of like, but there's some downsides to it. There's some, it's like whatever. But yeah, like my actual place of business where I work will be shut down Thanksgiving and the next day. I don't have a choice, but I have to use PTO.
Right. So it's not you could go in that day.
Yeah, basically, if I want to get paid, I have to use it, which I don't know about you guys, but I have bills. So I want to get paid. I have to use it. So yeah, it's something that I'll never understand. Now, I will say I am part of, I work for a health system.
Mhm.
And within that system, there is hospitals and places that are open on holidays.
Oh, right. Yeah. Okay.
But my thing is, the place I worked is not. Okay.
Right.
And for those people who work holidays, just pay them more as you should, right? Like I don't.
Like maybe people who work holidays get time and a half or something like that, or
right.
Get extra time.
I think they do. They get some sort of something for working a holiday.
Mm.
But it's weird. It is super weird. I'll never understand it. James, how about asking Ashley Brake for an interview on YouTube? Listen, interviews stress me out. However, I would love to talk to her. So I'll keep that in the back of my head. I don't know that she'd do that. It's not like I'm Larry's Library. But
whoa.
just making jokes. People love my dad. It's fine. I still think people are saying, please turn over when they say PTO. That's funny.
PTO.
Honestly, that doesn't sound legal, but what do I know? It's super weird, but...
Are they like very generous with like how you accrue it? Like is that maybe involved? Like do they give... I don't know. I'm just trying to... Trying to think.
With my now that I'm on salary, I definitely accrue more
Okay.
PTO. But even people who are hourly have to use that. Like
All
it's
right.
the same for every. It's I don't know. It's just it's weird. It is weird. I'd never heard of it until I worked here.
Yeah. All right. Well,
I don't
the
know.
the good thing is, like you said, you like your job now, so
Yeah.
and that's
Yeah.
a
Sorry to make this a whole
oh
conversation.
yeah, you know,
You know. Anyway, I love this book. But my point is, because this is my favorite book I read this year, I feel like I need to keep reading more
yeah.
of these sort of books, which I believe I haven't read since this. So I picked up two for the season.
Oh, right.
One of them is called A Cat Cafe Christmas.
Of course.
Now, this seems to be about a man and a woman, which I have not read a man and a woman romance yet.
Romance, right?
Yeah. So interesting. But I mean, there's cats. So I was like, well, this looks like it was meant for me to read at some point in my life. And then this one, which was blurbed by Ashley Heron Blake. So
Well,
I had to.
there you go.
And Jessica, who I'd mentioned before, texted me today and said she is about halfway through this and loving it. She said it's very funny and it's very, very good, which I love both those things. And it's for the season. It's called Kiss Her Once for Me.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah, and she blurbed at the top. And I can't read half the blurb because my library put a sticker over it. But what I can read says a cozy cinnamon scented hug of a book. Y'all,
There you
that's
go.
what I need right now. So clearly, what I need to read back to back probably is this.
little bit of a,
You know, a little bit of everything.
combination. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's it. That's what I hope to read at some point in my life.
Well, you know what I
Maybe
love?
soon.
I think what we're realizing here is, I feel like when people talk about romance books, I think there's a certain, judgment on that. But
Sure.
think about it. Think about any TV show, movie, book, song. So much of it is about, romance, about love, or whatever you want to call it. So I understand why a little bit. People think romance, they think of like, those old school like paperbacks that were maybe a little
Yeah.
more smutty. But I'm not judging even if that's what somebody likes to read to escape. Who cares?
Sure.
So
And I gotta say though, that's not my tea. That's not what I
right.
like. It's not my bag. It's not my interest.
But if these,
These
yeah,
characters are so sweet, and I love
yeah,
them, and they were all like really fun to read, and it was
yeah,
just a joy. It was just like a nice, pleasant, made
yeah,
me feel good, you know. So
yeah. So
that's what I want more of. Yeah.
I love that. I wish I could remember. I have two romance books that I ordered from Book of the Month, and now I can't remember what they are.
Oh,
Remember, I ordered them. I got them a while ago. What the ones by what's her name? Casey.
oh, McQuiston.
Yes, the One Last
Yeah.
Stop. Is that
One
what
Last
it's called?
Stop. That's on my shelf as well. I actually
Yeah.
got the paperback before I think Book of the Month had it.
Okay. Like I have that.
Yeah.
I haven't picked that up yet. I don't know why.
I haven't either.
And then there's, but it's like definitely a new genre for me. You've read more than I have, but I'm certainly not opposed to it. I mean, why not try it out?
I think maybe someday you should pick this one up. I'm just gonna keep grabbing this book.
That's okay. You know what? I did borrow that from the library, and I got the audiobook, but then I just never got to it because
Sure.
you loved it so much. I'm like, I should definitely try this out. So, do you think reading it physical form or audiobook would be better for me? I don't know.
I've read
Sort
it.
of
Yeah, I guess I don't know what the narrator sounds like,
Yeah.
but I think physical for this.
Yeah.
Like when I reread it, I'm gonna read it again physically.
Mhm.
Which, by the way, if I do, which I plan to reread this, that'll be, I think, the first time ever, especially for prose, I've read
Mhm.
twice in 1 year.
Wow.
I don't know. Have you done that a lot? Like, I just don't think I've ever done that.
I don't think in the same year. I don't
Mm.
think so.
I mean, this was like early this year, I think February or something, but still.
Yeah. No,
It feels crazy.
I love I love your reaction to that book. Like that's part of the reason why we read, right? To find books like that can be such an escape, and just it makes you so happy when you talk about it. Like, makes me want to read it. So
Totally.
yeah. Yeah. Oh,
All right. Well,
I thought we missed something in the chat, but we didn't. There's
no.
some
I think
chatter about
everybody's
you.
like, we left to read. Y'all should.
What do you have planned for the rest of the day?
I don't know what. I don't know that I need to do laundry for my trip. I know that's boring, but I should probably like clean up this room I'm in. I've thrown too many books on the floor, like from doing these shows and just moving the piles off.
Oh yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
Yep.
So I probably should organize some of that. Maybe I'll do that. But I definitely like to. What do you realistically think you're going to actually try to read tonight? That's a good question, I think.
Realistically, I want to finish Sweet Tooth, which that won't take me long because I'm at least the halfway mark.
Mm-hmm.
And then realistically, I think I really do want to start The Last Party.
Love that.
Because like you said, I think you were talking about one of the horror novellas. You're like, oh, it was like the first time you like bought a book, brought it home and started reading it. Like,
yeah,
I got that book of the month box maybe Thursday, but I just opened it today. So I think I would like to start that because I haven't read a thriller oddly in a little bit. And normally I'm like Miss Thriller reader. So
right. That's a great idea.
How about you? What do you think you're going to get to?
I think realistically, I'm halfway through Lightfall, and it is due back at the library as of yesterday. So
they're looking for you.
They're looking for me. So I think I'm going to read this for sure. Nice. I will start The Evil Secret Society of Cats because, but I think, I'm looking at these novels and novellas and such, and I'm like, where should I begin? That's one question, if I may, before I get you off this thing.
No rush. I'm good.
Do you have thoughts and opinions? Should I just, we've talked so much about romance. Should I do this or should I really just do this?
I think you have to do your reread. Yeah.
Okay, I think you're right.
Because here's what's going to happen as the release of the second book gets closer and closer, you're going to get stressed out.
You're so right. You're so right. Speaking of stressed out, I need to also continue my Giant Days reread, which I am. Which, by the way,
right?
Yeah, the 23rd, we Joe and I of the Guzz Buzz, check them out. We have rescheduled part 2 of our Giant Days reread for the 23rd. So tune in that day, I believe at 7 Eastern. Y'all, I know Eastern to Central is just 1 hour, but I always hurt my head thinking of that. I'll put something up. But yeah, okay. I think this is a good plan for tonight. This is what I'm doing.
I like it. Maybe
I'll post it on Instagram.
Oh, you're such an Instagrammer.
I'm really not. I need to get there.
Earlier today, I was like, oh, let me take the pictures of my book of the month, at least put that up. And then I took some other pictures. So I don't know. We'll see. I like,
so ready.
Whenever I take pictures, I mean, not that anybody really cares, but like I try to do it when there's a lot of sunlight. And I fight with the light.
Professional.
No, it's more I just like fight with the light in our place.
Yeah.
I don't know why. So I just took a bunch and I'm like, I feel like I have enough like lined up where, you know the drill. But I think for today, before I start reading, I have some like, don't be jealous. I have to clean the ceiling in the bathroom. So everyone,
I remember this. Yeah.
Don't be jealous of my life. I have some cooking I have to do because Kim said there's some stuff in the refrigerator that if we don't get to it soon, there could be problems.
Got it.
I don't like to waste food. So after that, I definitely do plan on. So wait, so what did I say? I have Sweet Tooth.
Mm-hmm. The Last Party.
Now I'm really messing up my piles here, but that's okay.
Same.
So we got Sweet Tooth and Last Party. So
nice
that's for me.
Great plan.
Yeah, I think it's doable, but now we have to put all these books back. That's the
and the thing is, I won't. They'll sit there tonight, probably. I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe I'll be good.
I think. Well, the annoying thing for me is I have 3 new books that didn't have homes. Now I have to find homes for them.
I also have several that were just like in a pile.
Yeah. And by the way, I realized I look like I'm like on the equator with the light on the one side of my face. Looks like the sun is here, but that's the only way I could do the lighting. So,
hey, I get it, and we don't have the sun today, so that sun did not come out. They were like, "Oh, it's snowing. It's fine."
All right, so I think We might even be back next weekend. We don't want to, no, this is a no pressure friendship
Right.
here, but
That's right. We'll
maybe.
definitely post something on our Instagram. So we've been good about that.
Yeah.
So check out Miriam's Bookstagram, and you can find me at the Comic Slayer on Instagram. Check all that out, and we'll let you know when we'll be back. But yeah, we're hoping for Sunday, so
Yeah.
we may be here.
We may be.
And let us know in the comments what you guys are reading, what you've just read, what you plan to read. We want to know it all, even if they're ambitious choices like we've chosen already. Like it's a lot. We get it though. But thanks everybody for watching.
Thank you.
Bye.